everybody, and welcome to a Slice of Gaming podcast for April 12th, 2025. I am your host, the Uncharted Wolf, and I am joined today by a very esteemed panel of podcast hosts. I got Fusion with me,
Hello.
and I got my boy Jackie G.
Hello.
Gentlemen, how you guys doing today?
It's been a good day. I feel like us three specifically have done a lot of podcasts together in the last month.
I think, yeah, you two have definitely appeared on a lot of podcasts. I don't actually know if you two have appeared together on a podcast
Oh
recently.
no, we definitely have.
Yeah, we.
Oh, you have?
I think the last two we've both spoke about AC Shadows.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember now. Okay.
We're
yeah.
so forgettable to you is what's really happening here.
No, dude, my brain is just like overloaded with information at all times. I forget what happened yesterday. We got a fun show today. Not a lot of news outside of the Nintendo realm because a lot of stuff is still very much centered around the Switch 2. I think a lot of companies are very smartly like, we're gonna wait to announce our stuff until later. Because Nintendo is so heavily in the news cycle at the moment. But we have a fun topic about like our excited games for Q2 2025, as well as just some reviews of the week, some games we're playing, the usual hubbub. If you guys want to find us, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcast platforms. We're going to be on there. Like the podcast, any type of support helps, and follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at A Slice of Gaming. Before we even get into the news, you two weren't here last week, and I want to get your thoughts on kind of the Switch 2 Direct and just the Switch 2 in general, like as a whole, and your feelings about it. Obviously, a lot of like different complex emotions when it comes to this console at the moment. But I want to start with you, Jack. I know you're a big Nintendo guy. I'm curious, like how you're currently feeling about the Switch 2 about a week removed.
Complicated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's just a lot of things that seem off. I'm excited because it's a new console, and I'm always excited for a new console. There's definitely a few games this show that I'm looking forward to. It's just all the stuff around it that's kind of brought it down a lot. Like the showcase itself, I thought was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
no faults with it really. But everything afterwards, it's just kind of brought it down a lot. That being said, I have got a pre-order in, so who cares what I think?
Yeah, the other day it's like, oh yeah, because I forget. I was about to say, it's like, how did you get a pre-order? You're in the UK, so all this,
Yeah.
this tariff thing didn't affect you at all.
Well, yeah, it's been weird since, but on the day after the show, I managed to get one. So
okay, that's awesome. That's in, yeah. So wait, the day after the show, were pre-orders up early for the UK?
yeah, they pretty much opened up on the same day in some areas.
Oh wow, interesting. How much is the price over there for y'all?
About £396 or something really oddly specific, and then the Mario Kart bundle is 430.
Let me check real quick. What's that in USD?
I think it's around 5. Yeah.
So yeah, a little more pricey than ours, but even well, for now, it's more pricey.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Fusion, what about you? How are you kind of feeling? I know this was the generation you're like, I'm gonna try to get back in, or not even back into Nintendo in general. What's kind of the temperature in the water right now?
Yeah, it seemed like I picked a bad generation. I won't lie. It is very hard to be positive about the whole situation. Like I really have tried. Like I sat there, watched the show. I didn't think it was the greatest show ever, but a lot of what they showed wasn't for me as a non-Nintendo guy. Like I think a big I wanted a 3D Mario to appear. I'm not a Mario Kart person, so I know a lot of people are super into Mario Kart, but I'm not a Mario Kart guy, so that doesn't do it for me. I want a 3D Mario. Donkey Kong, I loved the idea, and then Donkey Kong showed, and I was like, I'd actually rather just have 3D Mario. So like, I try not to be negative, but it is a thing where it's like over the last week, I feel like it's been 20% positive news and 80% negative news, and nothing jumps out to me where it's like I need this console. I went from a point where I thought I was going to get it day one to everything we've seen. I'm going to wait on this console. I don't even know if I'll get it this year. I would like to maybe get it this holiday after all the games are out. So like I have a backlog to actually get to. But it's the thing right now where I'm not in a rush at all. And it's funny because just before this, I was doing errands and I went to a local game shop like in my downtown, and I was talking to he was like a boomer. He was like 40 something. He owned the store, and he called it the Swix U, which I know people have been calling
Oh,
it. For
God.
one, he thinks he made it up. He literally told me, he's like, if you hear that, I was the first to say it. I'm like, I don't know if you know Twitter, but they've been saying that for weeks. Well, like even the local not GameStop, but the local game place was like, the two people there were like not into it, and that just shocked me. I don't know. I feel like it's harder and harder to find someone who's super interested in this thing. Where it's like, I'm not saying Nintendo has shit the bed here, because obviously this console's not even out, and when it comes out, it's going to sell millions of consoles. But I feel like this is almost exactly opposite of what I assume we all thought this launch was going to be like.
Honestly, Fusion, I know you remember this. Remember like the second PS5 showcase before the console came out? And it was
Yes.
like, whoa, that was incredible. What an amazing showcase. And then that's the price. And then like afterwards, all the bad news came out. Oh, games are $70 now. Oh, this and that. I will say this has been a lot more aggressive in comparison, but it still like reminds me a lot of like, oh, this is where all the bad news is after the games presentation.
Yeah, I could see that. I think the one benefit the PlayStation 5 launch had that the Switch doesn't, and like, was people were really excited about $399 for digital. Like that was a big selling point of, hey, this console's only $400. Where it's like, it seems like 90% of people see the $450 for the Switch 2, and they're like, how? Like they're just already mad about that, and that's before maybe tariffs get involved.
I mean, the whole tariff situation has fluctuated so much. We'll get into that later. But it is fascinating to kind of see that whole reaction of like, oh man, we were all so excited going in. And then I feel like majority of people during the direct were like, yeah, that was an amazing direct. We're all happy. Like third party support is very strong for this console, which is like, that was something we predicted beforehand, is like it's going to be a lot stronger. But it seems like it's like they're very much positive about that. And even when the price of the console came out, I didn't see that many people upset. I still saw people upset, but like it was like, all right, I guess with tariffs and like this and that, like fine. But then it was the $80 Mario Kart that was like, oh no. And all the bad news started tripping down from there. And at the end of the day, a lot of this is Nintendo's fault. There has been a lot of misinformation, but that's because Nintendo isn't saying anything. They're doing this weird white silo where it's like, oh, we're not gonna, like there was this thing, if you guys remember, it was $80 digital, $90 physical. That narrative was spreading around, and then it was not quickly shut down, but it was shut down. It was like, oh no, it's $80 in the States, like for physical. I think it's just certain European territories that have $90 for physical. And everyone was like, oh, the misinformation campaign against Nintendo here, like you guys didn't even say. It's like, guys, why didn't Nintendo of America just real quick like say something, send out a statement of games are $80 across the board? Like that is at the end of the day Nintendo's fault for not saying something, shutting it down, because obviously they definitely saw all that conversation circling it.
Yeah, it was weird how much information we were getting and how much information wasn't coming from Nintendo. Like,
Yep.
everyone else, these insiders, these leakers, these journalists, were all giving us the information, and none of it were coming from Nintendo. And Nintendo wasn't like denying or confirming any of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's one saga that I definitely want to get into later where if Nintendo just came out and said it like immediately, people wouldn't be upset. And it's like, I don't know why they act so silent, especially during a console. Like, I understand why they're so silent in general. You see what Xbox has, where that has gotten them when talking every 5 seconds. You start like talking over yourselves. You start saying one thing and meaning another, all that. But what I don't understand is this is a whole new console launch. People are obviously going to have questions. And it feels like Nintendo's like, what? Why would you have questions? You're just going to buy it anyways. It's like, yeah, but come on, man.
And the whole just like, check the Nintendo website. It's like, no, just tell us what's happening.
Exactly. At the end of the day, this thing's going to sell. Like, no matter what, I feel like this is the case where this is not a Switch U situation coined by a random game store employee, God bless them. But it is very much like this console is too big to fail. It's just the hubris coming from Nintendo, especially Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour. That was the biggest example of, oh, okay, they're just doing what they want now. they just know what they have, and they know they can get away with it. It's frustrating, but at the end of the day, it's like the games still look good. Like it's hard to really deny. It's like I am still ecstatic for Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, especially Donkey Kong. Though I do get what you mean, Fusion, of like, yeah, I would like a 3D Mario more. as good as this looks. I think we got to get into the news. There is a lot of Switch 2 news that we want to get into, so boys, buckle down. First and foremost, Doug Bowser has been doing a lot of interviews. I didn't put on the doc, but I don't know if you do. You guys see the quote where he was talking about the Switch 1, how it's like, oh, if you can't afford Switch 2, get a Switch 1.
Yes, and it was one of the worst quotes I've ever heard, actually.
It's straight up Don Matrick era as quote. And like you read into it, it's like, okay, I think I get what he means. Like, oh, if you can for people who aren't able to get the Switch 2, you can get the Switch, like we're still supporting the Switch 1. But the way it reads is substantially worse. So I feel like that's just one of those things where clearly a little bit more media training would have helped him there. But moving into kind of the first thing, and it's mostly talking about consoles and game pricing. Genki says, Doug Bowser says U.S. tariffs did not impact the Nintendo Switch 2 original $449.99 pricing. Quote, put the April 2nd announcement aside, any previous tariffs were not factored into the price itself. The news is fresh, and like many companies right now, we are currently assessing what the impact may be. He technically said that before the U.S. pre-orders went back out, so that's something to note. And then Genki also says, Doug Bowser says Nintendo Switch 2 consoles have already landed in the U.S. ready to go, and they will have much less supply constraints compared to Switch 1. Quote, we've had some time to build up inventories on a global basis, so we really hope we can meet that demand. They've even landed already, some in the United States. And then finally, Doug Bowser on Switch 2 game prices. This is the worst quote of them all. Quote, what you see right there is variable pricing. We'll look at each game, really look at the development that's gone into the game, the breadth and depth of the gameplay, if you will, the durability over time, and the repeatability of the gameplay experiences. Those are all factors, and there's many more that I go into consideration of what is the right price point for the game. So I think you can anticipate that there will be variable pricing, and we haven't set a benchmark. That's a really bad quote. I want to talk first and foremost about these tariffs and the kind of console pricing. I mean, what do you guys want to tackle? So obviously, like, they did not factor in that original, like, when doing the 450, they were not factoring in what was initially like a 42% tariff price on Vietnam, I think. Listen, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't understand tariffs, so I'm trying my best here. So what I now know is that there is a 90-day pause on tariffs, and it's gonna 90-day pause for like the big ones, but it's still gonna be 10% across the board, I think. So I don't know what we would do here. I'll be honest. It's a very weird situation. We still haven't gotten new pre-order dates for the United States. Fucking Jack over here already got his, so he's just gonna sit here pretty. I don't know, Fusion. What do you kind of think about that whole situation and what Nintendo's approach will be?
Yeah, it's weird because I know some people take this as good news, and like I guess it should be taken more as good news, but I think it's worse news for Nintendo. And I don't know a lot about tariffs, so I'm gonna come off like I know what I'm talking about, but maybe I don't. But to me, it's a thing where, okay, let's say Nintendo says, okay, we have 90 days, we can put this thing out at launch at 450. What happens when that 90 days up a month after launch and they get hit with the tariffs? They can't continue to sell the console at 450.
Yeah.
So how does that look for your fan base if everyone who got it at launch was like, hey, this is $450, we got in, and then everyone after that is paying $550? That doesn't seem like the correct move here. So like, I feel like if you're Nintendo, you still have to take the approach that in 90 days, these tariffs are happening unless between now and then, we get it together and they're just completely gone. But if this is for sure still happening in 90 days, I feel like Nintendo has to look at it and be like, whatever we're charging in 90 days is what we have to charge on launch day. You can't launch it at a certain price and then a month later raise the price $100. Personally, I don't think that should happen at all. I don't know if you guys have differing opinions on that, but like to me, that seems like a nightmare scenario to put it out at launch at 450 and then immediately a month later boost it up. Like if you're gonna boost it now.
I mean, do you think the tariffs will go in after the 90? Oh, okay. You know, honestly, I'm not even going to ask that because at the end of the day, when it comes to this administration, something is every fucking day.
It literally is every other day. Like the 90 days could be canceled tomorrow. Like it could just go back in tomorrow. Like it doesn't. It's
Yeah,
obnoxious.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like if you are right. It's like if you're gonna raise the price, it's like best to do it now. Do you think it's possible to maybe say, hey, we're gonna raise the price, but we're gonna bundle in like I don't know, I hate to say a welcome tour. But maybe that's the way they kind of counteract it. I don't know. This is such a like Nintendo really did choose the worst time to launch the console. Like and I don't blame them because like I don't know how you predict this whole thing, but it is fascinating to see them try to launch in what is effectively like this constantly fluctuating global market because one one guy's like, you know what? Actually, let's put them tariffs in. You
They
know what?
got
Nah, take them out.
dealt a shitty hand when it's like a lot of rumors and stuff were like this thing could have. This was supposed to launch last year. Like this
Yeah.
was supposed to be a 2024 console. Imagine if that would have just happened. I mean, they would have avoided all of this. I'm not blaming them, but it's like insane to think them waiting because they thought it was the better idea absolutely blew up in their face.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just unfortunate timing at the end of the day. Jack, I don't know
Like,
how much you'd have
Yep.
to say. I'm interested to hear what you think.
In terms of his quotes, the one about not factoring the tariffs, I don't really believe him. I think
Oh,
I think they definitely did factor in at least the 10% tariff that they were expecting. Especially when you like look at the price of the console in Japan and like how they're willing to take a loss on that one, but then this one they're charging extra. Like if without the 10% extra, it probably would have been a 400 console, which would have probably gone down a little better. I think the only reason he's not admitting that is because if the tariffs didn't go into effect, he would be expected to remove them. And I think that is part of the reason why, if they do raise the price, they'll be in an odd spot where if they blame the tariffs and then the tariffs go away, they will be expected to lower the price. If they don't blame the tariffs, they can't really justify just raising the price only a couple of weeks after announcing the console. So it's a really odd situation that I really don't know what I would do if I was running the company. I would just be like, yeah, God knows. Because even if they like promised to never put the tariffs in, let's face it, like you guys said, who knows at this point.
Yeah, no, it literally changes every day.
Yeah. In terms of the variable pricing on games, what a load of bollocks.
Yeah, that's the thing. I really am just like, no, I have no sympathy. Like variable pricing, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, like pretending that it's down to what the game's quality is and everything. It's like, no, it's to do with what you can get away with. It's always like Mario Kart. That could be the lowest quality game in the world, and they'd still charge 80 because it's Mario Kart and it's going to sell. I don't buy that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, what it's like? Okay, so Donkey Kong is worth less to you than Mario Kart. Well, no, it's that more people are going to buy Mario Kart at that price. That's more so. That is the example, and a lot. Bob was talking a lot about like, oh, inflation and all that. It's like I am very much of the side of like, no, I just think this is Nintendo looking at their hubris and saying, well, we can get away with it, and everyone's going to buy this game no matter what.
Mario Kart was going to be the only $80 game going forward, and it was just like, yeah, this is fine. It would have been easy to stomach, but it's like the second that you put a game at that price, you set the new standard. It's like every
100%.
single company is looking at that now. And I don't think it's going to massively impact Nintendo's Mario Kart sales, but I think it will impact games around it regardless, because at the end of the day, people are going to have a set budget. They're going to look at a game and they're going to say, I can either buy this one stupidly expensive game or two of these other ones. And at a certain point, you're just going to price people out instead. And like people will just go back to playing Fortnite and nothing's ever going to grow. So I hate it, but
that's my big issue with his quote is where he says like, we're not setting the standard. Yes, you are. Like you being the people who put $80, you're one of the biggest publishers in the world. You doing this is setting the standard for other companies to get away with it. Don't act like you're some like hero that you're like, oh, we're not. It's variable. Like we're not. It's like when I don't know if you guys, Jack won't remember, but like in the U.S., Wendy's for like a week did this thing with their menu where they had variable pricing.
Yeah.
Where depending on the time of the day, the menu prices would actually change. I'm like, this is as bad as that idea. Like, what are you doing? Like, we don't need variable price video games.
I remember when that happened. Where I was like, "Is this the future?" Then after a week, they're like, "No, I'm sorry. We'll never do that again." It's just, it's weird. Sorry, go ahead, Jack.
No, I was just gonna say, like Jeff Grubb from Giant Bomb was saying, he's heard from like loads of different publishers behind the scenes that they're all thrilled about this. They are all going to love this, and
Zelnick
it's
is sitting here like pumping his fist, like, "Oh yes, thank God, they were the ones who did it first."
yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think? GTA 6, we're gonna like see that at $80 or even more?
Possibly more.
I
The
know-
thing with go on.
I would just say I know I'm in the minority, but I really think GTA is going to launch at $70. And maybe it's just me hoping too much, but like I understand GTA could put it out at $100 if they wanted to sell, but I think they understand if they just put $70, they're breaking every record on day one. Where maybe at 100 they still break the record, but I feel like $70 is just the smart move because they know that game's going to sell at $70. People are used to $70 games now. People aren't going to second guess buying GTA at $70. Everyone's buying that video game. Once you start getting 80, 90, 100, you're going to have some second guessing. And I feel like Rockstar understands that. And they'll be like, hey, let's just put this out at $70 and break every record ever and still be the most profitable video game of all time.
And I mean,
Yeah,
like, I
Go on.
want to believe. I really want to believe Fusion, but like, I think at the very least they do 80. I don't think they do 100. I think even 100, they're like, nah, that's too much. But $80, I could see something like that. Maybe it's like, oh, a certain edition will be like way more expensive than usual, but I don't think like the base price will be 80.
I think that as the more expensive they price GTA, the less people are going to buy Borderlands and Mafia. So like for Take Two,
Yeah, true.
they'll get more from this one game, but the other two games are going to suffer because people are going to be like, right, I was going to buy Borderlands and Grand Theft Auto. I'm not doing both now because I can't afford it.
100%. Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, it's like you're not just affecting your own game, like you said earlier, Jack. It's like you're affecting stuff around it. And it's like it is frustrating to just see Nintendo basically big ass dick come in like, yeah, you're gonna buy Mario Kart. We don't give a shit about your other games. Because like they're kind of screwing over their launch, like the other launch games. Because like now, a lot of people are like, oh, if I'm gonna spend $80 for Mario Kart, like what I would have spent on, I don't know, Hitman. It's like I don't want to spend more money. I'll just buy Mario Kart for now.
And I haven't even like bitched about the UK prices over here, but like
Oh
the
god.
this we do have the digital physical split. So here
Oh, okay.
the digital version's about £66, which is $89, and the physical version is £75, which is $100.
They saw your game collection, Jack. They were like, "We gotta stop this."
It's just like
having a little too much fun over there.
I just don't get it because they used to be on like parity. It was like £50, $60, which £50 is a bit more than $60, but it was close enough that it didn't really bother me. Then when it went up to 70, everyone just did £70 and really fucked us over, and now it's going to be like similar.
Dude, I remember when that happened because like it would have been like make sense of match the UK pound price to what it would be worth to the $70, but they're like, nah, just across the board 70. It's like what? You didn't even like think about that.
Yeah, even like go from £50 to £60, but they just went from £50 to £70. It was just like, it was such a massive jump. And
that's the same number as the American price. It's like not understanding like prices of different countries. I swear.
Yeah.
All right, well, boys, we're gonna be priced out of every game soon. but at least we finally got confirmation for now about the Nintendo Switch 2 edition games. Mario 64 brought this. A Nintendo spokesperson confirmed that physical Switch 2 edition games have the original Switch game and the upgrade pack on the same game card. No download code, no download required, exclusively Switch 2 game cards. I'll believe it when I see it, because this has changed, no joke, like 4 times throughout this whole week. It initially started with, it's not going to be on it. And then it was, no, it will be. And then there was another person that was like, no, it won't be. And now, this is a Switch 2 spokesperson talking to Vooks. God bless Vooks. I think they're an Australian, media company. And now they're saying, for sure, it's on the cart. Apparently, to a Nintendo spokesperson, I'll believe it when Miyamoto says it.
So, this has been, like you said, this has been a weird saga. Like, I followed Does It Play on Twitter and Blue Sky, and they've been getting so much shit for just even trying to explain this to people, but they've actually done a great job. So it started with a Nintendo rep, I think Nintendo UK, responded to someone saying, no, it's not on the cart. And then
Okay.
another Nintendo rep, I can't remember what country that was, said, it is on the cart. And then another Nintendo rep has come in this week and also said, yes, it is on the cart. So we're 2 against 1 here, but I don't believe it.
It's just this weird ass situation. I do personally, if I was a betting man, I'd say it is on the cart, just because I truly can't imagine it not being on the cart. Like that just feels insane. But also, this is Nintendo; they do weird shit all the time.
If it isn't
they
on
have-
the cart, I will literally never buy any of these versions. I'll just buy the Switch 1 version, because why would I get the worst box art and a digital code for an upgrade? It's not even worth it.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah, they're really trying to get rid of the physical buyers, huh? It's kind of rough for us boys. And like we were talking about this, Jack, Nintendo doing it is the weird thing. Because like Microsoft, yeah, we expect that from Microsoft, but man, it feels like, and the whole game card situation, a lot more games have been like saying we're game cards, and like I can kind of understand the game card if for people who don't know, the game cards are the ones where it's like you have to download the game. It's kind of an empty cart type deal, kind of like how Xbox has been doing it. I can kind of understand it for something like Street Fighter 6. Like, yeah, it's a big game. It comes with all the characters, fine. When I see Bravely Default, that's an 11 gigabyte game. When I see No Sleep for Kaname Date, those two games? No, that's just them being lazy and not wanting to pay the price for the carts. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I wonder how cheap it is for them to manufacture these game carts. They must be like unbelievably affordable. Because
Oh,
at this
yeah,
point,
'cause
you're just
they're
like,
empty.
why? Yeah, why don't you just put a code in the box at some point? But I mean, don't get me wrong, these are better than a code, but I'm
Oh, yeah.
not going to compliment them because they're still dreadful. And like you said, like Bravely Default is such a weird one because not only is it like it's just
It's a
weird that that's a
3DS
Switch
game.
2 exclusive because it just looks it doesn't even look that much better than the 3DS version. Um, but yeah, it's 11 gigabytes. You could fit that on a regular Switch cartridge. So
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yep, frustrating. Another frustrating thing. I was saying this. All the Switch 2 news was coming out on Monday. I'm like, damn, all the interviews are coming out, and like most of it is bad news. Warrior 64 brought this up. Switch 2 Joy-Con will not feature Hall effect sticks. Quote: Joy-Con 2's controllers have been designed from the ground up. They're not Hall effect sticks, but they feel really good. I don't care how they feel. Are they gonna drift? Like that's my immediate thought when I read that quote. I mean, listen, so if people who don't know, Hall effect is effectively like kind of this style of joystick manufacturing that prevents drift from happening effectively. And that's obviously something a lot of people want for Switch 2 because Switch 1 Joy-Cons drifted all the damn time. Mine drifted after about a year. So it's one of those things of like, are you not going to put any anti-drift mechanisms? I have to imagine something is being done to avoid drift because we saw all the lawsuits. We saw the years of litigation Nintendo went through with the Joy-Con drift. They have to understand it's like we have to avoid any situation like this happening again.
Yeah, this one was like, I understand like Nintendo does Nintendo, but this one felt like just pure bullshit to me. Where it's like we've had like Hall effect isn't a brand new thing. We've had like it's been a thing around for years that like people now understand like, hey, if I'm going to buy a controller, one of the very first things I'm looking at is does this thing have Hall effect joysticks? Nintendo knows what that is. They had no excuse. Unless, like you said, they have their own version that's really good and just as good as Hall effect joysticks, they had absolutely no excuse to put this thing into the Joy-Cons. I mean, none. And it just feels like one of those things where they just were like, no, we really don't feel like it. Like it does. We don't think we need it right now. We're just not going to add it. Like there's no way it would have cost that much extra. Like I have a third-party controller that cost me $15. It has Hall effect joysticks. Like it's not like some expensive thing. And it's like personally, you going from using them and not using them. I don't think I ever want to buy a controller again that doesn't have it. So it makes no sense for Nintendo to go out of their way to just not put it on their system.
My only assumption is maybe because Hall effect uses magnets, like it messes with the Joy-Cons like magnetic connection to the console. That doesn't make sense at all though, because it's like you would assume the Hall effect like it is contained to a very tiny magnetic charge.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, maybe they do have something in house that they've been working on that is just as good, and we won't have to worry about it. But the moment people start seeing that stick drift a month in, 2 months in, like it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big issue, and it's like I'm just waiting for it to be a giant issue, and then 2 years later they put out the OLED, and they're like, and also this OLED has Hall effect joysticks, and like, I would just like could wait to see it blow up in their face because it seems like the exact thing Nintendo would do.
It is interesting. You bring up that idea. It's like I didn't even actually think about it. They could have an in-house solution because the thing is, I don't know if you guys remember, like literally all the leaks of the Switch 2 said it would be using Hall effect joysticks. So maybe the assumption was like, oh, it was using Hall effect, but it's kind of their proprietary technology, so they're not saying it's Hall effect. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of bringing in some hopium. Random question, Fusion. You said you can't go back to non-Hall effect joysticks. Do they feel different, or is it just the feeling of like knowing they won't drift?
More of the fact that I just like, I personally, I don't know enough to know if like it makes a big feel difference. I like the way these feel. The ones I have a 8-bit Do Ultimate 2C. Like I love the way those joysticks feel compared to like my Xbox controller. But it's just kind of the ease of mind of knowing, hey, I could use this controller over the next 5 years and I won't have any issues. Like I could test it today and it would have the exact same dead zones as if I took it out of the box compared to like I can't even tell you how many Xbox controllers I've had to go through because of the Hall, like not having Hall stick effect. So it's like just the ease of mind of knowing, hey, this has the best technology in it that's going to allow me to not have to worry about getting another controller months down the line is enough for me to never want to buy a controller that doesn't have it.
No, completely understandable. Moving into yet another negative story, man. Genki has put this out. Nintendo have confirmed that Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour will cost $9.99. And then one of the greatest Genki moments of all time. Another reminder that Astro's Playroom is on PS5 is free. So that's just like a big call out. Listen, here's the thing. Everything that we've talked about thus far has had debates on both sides. Oh, maybe game prices go up because of this. This thing with the prices, all this. There's been debates on both sides. People defending, people arguing, all that. The one thing I swear to God, everyone agrees on is that this game should have been free. It is fucking hilarious how this is a paid video game.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's so funny. It was so funny watching live reactions to the direct last week. When I was like, "Oh, Welcome Tour, this looks cool." Everyone had the exact same reaction the minute it popped up, and it was like, "Paid?" They were like, "What? You're paying for this?" Like, yeah. It again, like you said, just another one of those negative stories that are surrounding the launch where it's just like, why? Like, there's no way you sat there and you thought this was a good idea to call something Welcome Tour and then be paid. Like, does it really hurt you that much to make it free?
That's what's so weird because it's like I don't know how much they're gaining off of people buying it. It's a $10 game. It's like you might as well just pack it in. Who's gonna buy this? I am because I'm a sucker. But like, I don't know who else would buy this if they're normal, sane human beings, unlike me. It is a case of like, I don't know if you guys know this. Reggie Fils-Aimé, he fought very hard to make Wii Sports a pack-in for the Wii. So I get Doug Bowser's like, I don't care. So, which is just like, damn. I don't know if you guys saw Reggie straight up tweeted out. It's like, oh, here's a segment of a podcast I was on where I was talking about how I fought for Wii Sports to be a pack-in title, just throwing shade, which is hilarious.
Like Wii Sports a pack-in title.
Yeah,
and like, Welcome to that is a full like game that like everyone loved. No one is playing Welcome Tour. Like I know you're going to buy it, you're going to check it out, but no one a year from now is talking about Welcome Tour.
Oh yeah, no.
Wii Sports, everyone talking about. We still talk about Wii Sports. Like,
yeah, dude,
I don't understand.
It's incredible. Like the thing about Wii Sports was like Reggie was fighting. It's like we need people to understand what the Wii can be, and Wii Sports is that game. And it's like, if you want people to understand what the Switch 2 is capable of doing, why not bundle this game that shows you what the Switch 2 can do? Look at this game and tell me this doesn't scream tech demo electronic manual vibes.
It's so bad. I mean, it is abysmal. How like the whole story is just abysmal. I don't understand how they thought it was a good idea.
Moving it to, this is arguably negative, arguably I don't give a shit, depending on who you ask. I give a shit. Jordan Midler put the Switch 2 won't have achievements, Nintendo confirmed. While Zelda will have in-app achievements, no system-wide achievement feature is no system-wide feature is planned. When asked by Polygon if the new system will break from Nintendo tradition and introduce system-wide rewards for playing games, Nintendo's vice president of player and product experience, Bill Trinen, said, "Nope." Just straight up. While the system won't have console-wide achievements, two Nintendo Switch 2 editions games will have their own achievement lists, though they will be relegated to a mobile app. Nintendo said in the past that they're just not interested in achievements, and it seems like that is very much carrying on. Listen, I'm not gonna act like achievements are like my make or break for any console or device, but I do like them. I do like having achievements, and Nintendo games, they only release on Nintendo consoles, so the fact that like I want to go for more like achievement hunting situations, lack of a better word, for Nintendo games, and I still do because I love playing the games and I like 100%ing video games. But it would be nice to just see like, 100% of achievements on Mario Odyssey, 100% on Kirby and the Forgotten Land, like games that I have fun 100%ing, just in general.
It doesn't make sense to me that they're the only people left who don't do achievements of some type. Where it's like, for one, you make a lot of platformers. For most of us who hunt trophies and stuff, that's the funnest achievements to go after, is those platformer games. All the third parties already have trophies and achievements. Like, they already have those things on PlayStation and Xbox and Steam. So it's like, they're already making these things. Why not just allow them to put them on your hardware? I understand. Were they the people who, like, they said they didn't want to make everything competitive, or they had some quote where it was something about like achievements leading to like
older quote.
Yeah, I mean it was years ago, but like it's the whole
still
thing
very
where it's
much
just like,
feels that's
yeah,
what they think.
it doesn't make any sense. Like it never. I feel like it only adds to the experience. If I'm playing a 3D Mario and I'm having fun playing 3D Mario, and now I know I have like, hey, these 20 achievements to go for, that adds replay. That adds like all this other stuff I can do to make your game more fun. And this is someone who like, I don't have all the platinums in the world, and I'm not the biggest platinum goer, but like certain games got a lot better when I started to go for that platinum. Now, sometimes it did ruin my experience a little bit, but it was me making that decision to go after that. Just because there's achievements on the Switch 2 doesn't mean everyone's going to go after them. Most people probably won't, but for the people who want to go after them, it could add so much more to the experience.
Yeah, it's just one of those things of like, dude, Uplay Plus has achievements. Like, are you kidding me? It's like those are the most worthless achievements of all time. It's like they still have them. It's just a case of like, and all the people who this story came out, it's like, who cares? Oh, good on them. Achievements are bad. You don't have to get them. Like, you can just turn them off. Like I think on PlayStation, I might be wrong, but you can turn off the notifications for getting trophies. It's like, there you go. Like, you don't have to worry about them. Yeah, I don't know. There's this like weird anti-achievement thing with a lot of like, especially games media people, and I'm like, this, like, what is wrong with just having them there? It's not like they do anything to hamper the experience.
I would never say it's not like no one's forcing you to do these things. And it's also like it adds to a social thing where it's like I like to look at my friends list and see where this person is in this game. If I'm talking to like someone in the Discord and they're like, I'm at this part of the game and I don't exactly remember, maybe I don't want to spoil something, or like maybe I don't want to spoil something upcoming in the story, but I can't exactly remember where they're at. I can check their trophy list and be like, oh, they're not there yet. I'm not going to bring it up. Or oh, they just did it. I can bring this up to them. Things like that where it's like achievements add a type of social aspect to it that's just more than just me going for the trophies. Like, it's a whole community type thing. There is trophy hunters out there, achievement hunters. Like, it is a community feature at the end of the day, and it's like Nintendo just doesn't care.
Yeah,
Can I chime in here?
Yeah, go for it.
So I am one of the anti-achievement people. So
okay, get out.
I have listened to many developer interviews, and I haven't listened to all of them, so there may be developers out there who love achievements, but most of the ones I've listened to have always said how much of a burden it is, how they don't like adding them, how they just feel like they have to give you some menial tasks to do in the game in order to get a stupid trophy. That being said, I do like platinum trophies, and 100%, because if you do complete a game, I do feel like you should be rewarded. However, so many games just add the most pointless achievements that they just feel like they need to add them so someone can get a trophy. My friend has just beaten South of Midnight. It's his favorite game of the year so far already. And he, like, from finishing the game, doing as much side stuff as he wanted. He did a decent amount going through it. He didn't even get half of the achievements in the game. It's just,
No.
I
Just a
just
bad list, though.
I mean, that's on the devs. The devs don't have like something like what Life is Strange. They do it perfectly. You play through that game, they have a great trophy list, and you just go through. Like not
Astrobot.
Astrobot, another one where it's like I didn't have to grind for Astrobot trophies. Like that is, I understand your point. I 100% understand, Jack. Where like some devs they probably just find it as a waste of time, and they have to put it in there to put it in there. But also these devs can have fun with it. And Insomniac is one of the devs that you might have to watch an interview for that they love they love the trophy list and Rift Apart. That was one thing they talked about is they loved putting those trophies together for Ratchet and Clank. I love that trophy hunt. Like when I went for that platinum, that game was fun. Those devs did it correctly. They did it correctly with Spider-Man. They do like certain devs are a lot better at it than others, and some devs probably just want you to grind the game for 20 more hours, so they throw these random achievements in there. I feel like that comes down to dev like if this dev actually knows how achievements and how it should work versus devs just putting them in there to make their game extra beefy and extra feel like it's worth more the price because hey, you're gonna grind this one thing for 20 hours.
And also it should be noted, it's like PlayStation requires you to have trophies. So it's like a lot of these devs, if they're gonna release games on both PlayStation and Nintendo, it's like they already have the trophies or like the achievements set up, basically.
Nintendo probably just doesn't want to force its own devs to, though.
Yeah, but I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Force them, man. I want to get the platinum for Odyssey.
There are quite a few Switch games that do have like game-specific achievements built into them. So there are still like options. There's just no system-wide one, which again I'm kind of in support of because it just means the devs don't have to worry about it. That being said, I also haven't heard that Insomniac interview, but that does make sense based on what I've heard about the Rift Apart Platinum.
And it's like these games already have these things. Mario honestly already had the millions of moons. Why couldn't you just say, hey, once you collect all these moons, here's the trophy? Like, what's like, show us something? You know what I mean?
Point.
Or like, you know what I mean? We already have so many collectibles in all these video games that are out nowadays, or so many of these side quests, or do this, do that. We already have them. Just have something pop up on our screen at the end of the day. It can't be that difficult.
I almost think at a certain point, it's like if I get 100% on a game, I just want like a little star next to that game that shows you got all the everything in the game. It's like, okay, that's all I need. Just something.
Well,
like it makes me feel good.
I mean, a lot of Nintendo games do put a star next to your profile for it, if that counts.
Oh God, here we go. The Nintendo Defense Force. Now, I don't know. I get all your points, Jack. You know, I'm starting to think maybe I am just anti-developer. All they do is complain, man.
It can't be that hard making a game, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, but in all seriousness, I understand like kind of a lot of the frustrations that devs may have, like adding these trophy lists. But also, it's like you don't have to go overzealous and have like, oh, go to this guy and T-pose on him. It's like just have trophies that are beat the game, do this, do that, like literal like side quest, complete this side quest. It's like yeah, it's boring, but like if you don't want to add the crazy weird trophies, there you go.
Like the Life is Strange one. Life is Strange gives you a trophy every time you complete like a chapter. You complete a chapter, here's the Life is Strange. And then you have your collectible ones as well. But it's like, what's stopping you? Assassin's Creed Shadows just had one. Every time you beat an act, you get a trophy for it. Cool. Like now I know I'm entering Act 2. Like because the game doesn't tell you, by the way, but the trophy tells you when you get to Act 2. The game will tell. The trophy will tell you hit Act 2. The game won't tell you.
Yeah. No, oh, fair arguments all around though. It doesn't matter what we say though. Nintendo's not gonna do it. It's so
Jack's
annoying.
fault. Jack's fault.
Jack,
He probably went over there and told them.
They should They should have achievements, but just exclusively on the mobile app, like the Zelda ones.
I'll take it, man. Listen, that's close enough for me.
That's even more funny because you're not even going to be able to display them. They'll just be, hey, I have them. I have all the achievements.
Dude, that Zelda thing pisses me off. I'm sorry. Whatever that thing they're doing with the Zelda thing, oh, it makes me so mad. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it last week, but the Nintendo Switch 2 editions, it's gonna be a $10 upgrade, but then a $20 for the DLC type thing, so the Forgotten Land and the Mario Party ones. It is funny because if you own the game, you could just pay the $10 upgrade, but they are reselling the games as Nintendo Switch 2 editions on retail, and it shows Breath of the Wild, a game that came out in 2017 for $70. Game never got an official price cut, but it got an official price increase. God bless Nintendo, man. They keep doing it again and again. I
And-
don't know how that's possible.
And based on what we've heard today, it doesn't even have the DLC on that.
Oh man, Nintendo is funny as shit. They just love nickel and diming us, man. Here's something that I think we can all agree is stupid, though. Nintendo says eShop Music won't return for Switch 2 and likely never will. This is Jordan Midler at VGC. Nintendo eShop Music was an iconic feature of Nintendo's digital storefronts in the mid-2000s. Now Nintendo has confirmed that eShop Music won't be making a return for Switch 2 and has explained why it likely won't be coming back in the future. Quote, unlike back then, the eShop now has a lot of videos that are showcasing the games. Nintendo Switch 2 producer Koichi Kawamoto told Polygon, we didn't want to intrude on that, so we don't have music there. That is so fucking stupid. I didn't read that part of the quote. What do you mean? Fusion, when you open a game on PS5 for a video, you know what the music does? It stops.
Yeah.
What?
I feel like for the fun company that Nintendo is, the UI is ass and
Yep.
nothing. Like, it's not cool to look at, not fun to look at, and then no music. Like, for this super fun kid company, toy company that they call themselves, it's anti-fun when it comes to anything with their UI. It
Yep.
makes no
It's all
sense.
business, baby.
I even hate their stupid whatever font they use. It pisses me off. Their
Yeah, it's
Nintendo
like
font. Like, it's so
calligraphy.
bad.
Oh god.
There's nothing fun about this company that's supposed to make some of the funnest games in the world.
Yeah, it's frustrating because it's fun because their UI was so good back in the day, like pre-Switch, and like Switch 1, it kind of made sense because of the way that the RAM was used for the console. It was like, we didn't want to allocate too much RAM to like all this extra stuff, so we're gonna make it as bland as possible so everything runs correctly. It was annoying, but it makes some sense. Now, now when you have way more RAM on your console and you're still doing this shit, it's very frustrating. They did say they will be improving the eShop. Again, I'll believe it when I see it, but dude, the Switch 1 eShop didn't even have a cart. Like, you had to buy the games one at a time, which is just like the most asinine thing I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, hopefully eShop isn't as dreadful of an experience this time around. But God forbid I hear some music, man. Jeez. All right, that's it for the Nintendo section. I'll be honest, we got a lot more angry than I thought we would.
You did put the two most negative about Nintendo in the podcast together.
Yeah, really, honestly, right at the. I mean, like that after Welcome Tour pricing and Hall Effect, man, it was just back to back to back. I will say something positive. The games are fun. Everyone who played Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart is like, wow, this is incredible. So like that's exciting. But it is just that constant thing with Nintendo cycles of, hey man, these guys really love to nickel and dime you and do a lot of annoying shit. Man, the games are so good, you just kind of put up with it. And it's like, I kind of wish we didn't have to just put up with it and that we would just be able to play the games and they're fun. But yeah, we'll see. Switch 2 still supposedly coming out June 5th. Do you guys think they delay it because of the tariffs, or they're like steadfast on that date?
I think they're steadfast.
Yeah, I would say they stick with it unless, and if they're going to delay it, they better speak up soon.
Yeah.
It better not be a situation where it's the middle of May and they're like, hey, by the way, guys, I'm sorry. It's not coming out in 3 weeks.
Give it back. Send
Yeah.
it back to your Nintendo
But
representative.
but I don't know because they're quiet about everything else, so it wouldn't shock me if we wait a month and they're like, we couldn't make it, guys. I'm sorry. Like,
I'm
what?
assuming next week we'll get an answer about whatever they decide to do, but I don't think they move past that June 5th release date. Especially, dude, it is funny of like, oh yeah, it's just gonna affect the US. But then like the day before the pre-orders were gonna go up in Canada, they were like, oh, we're gonna have to also assess for the tariffs. It's like, dude, they didn't even do nothing. Like Canada's just, but our boy Jat, he's from Canada, he got screwed over for no reason.
Just because they share a border.
It's so funny.
It's crazy.
Moving out of the world of Nintendo and into the world of Xbox.
Oh no.
I know, Jack, we have to talk about them. We've got another double feature this year. Mark your calendar for the Xbox Game Showcase, followed by the Outer Worlds 2 Direct on June 8th. 10 a.m. PT. and then the Outer Worlds 2 Direct immediately following the Xbox Game Showcase. Xbox just tweeted that out, I think, 2 days ago. But yeah, I mean, not surprising. Obviously, they always have a summer showcase. This one is about 2 days after SGF, like 3 days after the Switch 2 comes out, so that's very funny. I am very, very curious that they're doing the Outer Worlds 2 Direct, because I don't know if you guys saw, they released some IGN first gameplay of Outer Worlds 2, and then they're like, every week for the month of April, we're going to be talking about this system in Outer Worlds 2. We're going to be doing this. And it's like, why is there a direct then? Because it sounds like you guys are basically doing the direct early.
I will say,
weird.
Oh, go
You
on.
go, Jack. No, you go.
I will say, I'm just glad they're not doing Call of Duty again. I thought they were going to do that every single year from now on.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, I'd much rather Outer Worlds 2 than just Call of Duty again.
We had big arguments on Discord about that because I thought you guys were delusional thinking it was just going to be Call of Duty every year. Like, I could slightly understand the reasoning, but it made no sense. The whole thing was like, we know at this point, is whatever their holiday game's going to be. And I get Call of Duty every holiday, but like, Starfield was 2023's big holiday game. They picked Call of Duty last year because they finally owned Call of Duty, and it was the first Call of Duty that had like Omni movement and all this stuff. They had a reason to talk about Black Ops 6 last year. Like, it was finally an Xbox owned thing. It made no sense for that to be an every year thing. Gears, I thought maybe they were going to go Gears. This makes me believe Gears isn't this year, and hopefully that's true.
Okay.
Not that I don't want to play that game, but it's my fantasy critic counter pick. I don't want to lose 20 points, so that can go 2026. That makes me believe that that's why we got Outer Worlds 2, because it's like, personally, if Gears was coming out or like Perfect Dark something else, I feel like Outer Worlds would have not been the choice, especially with Avowed already coming out 2 months ago. Pretty, like, most people like it, but like, we've already had an Obsidian RPG this year. There's no reason to talk about another Obsidian RPG, especially when IGN's giving this all this coverage. And it could have been a scenario, I doubt it, but it could have been a scenario where IGN already had all this stuff lined up for the Outer Worlds 2, and there wasn't going to be Outer Worlds 2 direct after the Xbox showcase, but Xbox was also like, hey, we kind of have nothing else. We're actually not going to do Call of Duty again because people would be mad about that. Let's just do Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah, everything you're saying, I think, is very possibly why that's the case. I guess, how are you guys feeling about Outer Worlds 2? Because I'll admit, the IGN first gameplay, the more I watch it, I'm like, ooh. And I'm hoping that was like the gameplay they chose, because for some reason they decided to show off stealth gameplay for this game first.
I watched only once and like skimmed through it. I didn't like, I liked what I saw, so I haven't rewatched it to like actually sit there and like pick it apart yet. But like, from what I saw, I mean, visually looked good. The gameplay from what they were showing looked a lot better than what I've seen in the first Outer Worlds. So like,
yeah,
as long as it's gonna keep up and we get like more good news as the weeks go on, like, I'm excited for Outer Worlds 2, but it's nothing where it's like it's on the top of my radar type thing. Like, it's a game where it's like, if I have time when it comes out, I would like to play it.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I think it's one of those cases of like, I played so much Avowed that I'm like, I don't know if I'm immediately ready for an Obsidian RPG, but depending on the reviews, I do think this one's going to be definitely much better than the first game. I am just curious, like, where it's going to be better. If it is just the gameplay thing, or it's like, oh no, we worked really hard on the narrative too, and we're going to try to nail that as well.
That's a good point bringing up Avowed, because if like reviews come out and they're like, this is like Avowed in space, I'm not playing that right now. Like, I had enough of the Avowed experience where it's like, if you're going to give me the Avowed experience again, just in a different form, I don't want that right now. Like, I thought Avowed was fine. I played it, I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to play an Avowed 2.0 just in space for 40 hours, like right now. Maybe a year from now, but not 6 months after Avowed.
No, that's totally fair. Talking about the showcase itself, I mean, listen, last two Xbox game showcases, especially last year, very, very strong showcase. Do you guys think maybe it's a possibility that, they blew their load and now they don't have as much? Or do you think, like, a lot of third parties look at this showcase and it's like, hey, let's show our stuff here, because, like, now people are definitely going to be paying attention to these type of game showcases from Xbox?
It's hard because I think we know their 2026 slate. I think personally their 2026 slate will be even better than this year. And this year so far has been really good.
Yeah.
So if they're going to take their time and actually go over their 2026 games, I think it could be a really good show. The issue there is they like to show their first party of that year in that January Dev Direct. So it depends how much they're going to hold back for January of next year. Like
Yeah.
if they're going to show off a Fable, like a lot of Fable, awesome. Perfect Dark, awesome. State of Decay 3, awesome. Like those are games that are rumored projected to all be next year. So I think they have the sauce to put a good show. And then third person, like you said, in recent years has really been repping that Xbox showcase. Like third person, third party.
Yeah,
sorry.
I was like third
Yeah,
person.
my bad. No, they don't have third person games over there actually. But sorry, yeah, third party games have really liked showing up at that Xbox showcase because outside of Summer Game Fest, it is the biggest spot to be. PlayStation doesn't show up anymore. Nintendo usually isn't that weekend. So like
Yeah, they're like the next weekend.
yeah, so like it makes sense for like third party to like Xbox has been showing a lot of third party stuff off. So I think if third party represents and Xbox goes deep into their first party games that are coming out next year, I think it will be a really good show.
I think this is one of those cases of like I am very interested, very excited for these type of showcases no matter what. I am just wondering if like, oh, Xbox first party, like do you guys, I feel like it's a case of like they're almost kind of spread thin of like they have so many showcases that they show their games off at now that sometimes it's like, oh, what do we have left for this summer show? But also they probably saved their absolute biggest megaton stuff for this summer show. And honestly, these type of summer shows feel like the re-reveals / brand new game reveals type deal where it's like, oh, Perfect Dark is gonna reemerge here, not at like the developer direct type thing.
Yeah. Well, Jack
And then-
hates these
well-
shows, so
Actually, I was about to compliment them, but you're right. I hate them. No, I can't actually remember the last bad Xbox June showcase. The 2022 one was odd because of the 12-month thing, but even then, it was a fine show. They always put on a good show in June, so it will be interesting this year because they've already announced that they're not doing. Is it FanFest? The in-person stuff
yeah,
at the same time.
Yeah.
This is all digital. So I know a lot of people are like theorizing, oh, it's because everything's multi-platform and they don't want to get heat in person for it. I don't think that's quite correct. I think they just genuinely don't want to do the physical event right now. But even then, like,
I like that theory though. I like that theory.
yeah, they're gonna get so much shit that people are gonna burn the building down. They don't want to put up with
They're
Switch
gonna
games.
dump Phil Spencer.
You can play a fan fest and they're playing on PS5 Pros. here's the new Gears on the PS5 Pro.
Oh god.
Yeah. In terms of like third-party stuff, obviously with SGF being a few days before, it'll probably just be split between those two events. So I don't know.
No, I'm
Yeah.
very curious. I mean, dude, I'm really hoping this year's SGF is strong because last year was a really weak showing from Jeff.
I really liked last year. It was
Oh my
something different.
Really?
Yeah, last
mean-
year
Yeah.
wasn't my favorite. The one before that was so good. I think that's why last year felt down because 2023's SGF was awesome. The best one he's ever put on.
No, the
I
best
just
one was
like the focus
2021.
on. I don't remember. I just like
That's
the
another
focus
game,
on these smaller games, to be honest. So, like they had the big like publisher reveals where they were like, oh, here's Altersloth and here's like a million games that they're funding, and here's Blumhouse and a
love
million
that
games
stuff.
that they're funding. So I quite liked it because it was just different from the usual Jeff show, which to me they all kind of blur together, like which one's which. So I just
Yeah,
liked
I
it
don't-
being.
Last year felt so much like it was just Gamescom. Like we all know what Gamescom feels like. Like
Oh,
that. That's what set like. Last year I had my brother watch. We were on vacation, so I was like, "Hey, let's watch this together. This is usually really good." And I'm like, I just showed you the worst one. I'm sorry. Like, I was like, he wasn't really super into it, and he plays a lot of games, but a lot of the stuff that showed up, he wasn't like. And he used to be a big like he used to love E3. So like that was his first one he's ever watched, and like I didn't hype it up as E3, but I'm like, this is like what E3 is now without E3. So I was like, I put the expectations probably too high for him, but I'm like, trust me, next year he's got you. Like this wasn't the one.
Man, get him on like Game Awards, man.
I try to get him to watch Game Awards. He usually watches the trailers the next day, but like,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's just one of those scenarios where it's like, I remember us having this exact same conversation last year. Jack was very high on that show, and the rest of us were like, like we were just like, no, that wasn't our favorite one he's ever put on.
Thing,
And it's not
Jeff,
his fault. He gets what he can get. And then the Game Awards last year were amazing. So it's like if exactly last year happened, if this year was like, hey, Summer Game Fest is weak and the Game Awards is the same as last year, fine by me. Like if that's what we got to do.
That's the thing is like in general, I don't really get mad at game presentations anymore. I used to, but like even that State of Play, I remember you really hated Fusion.
Oh, I
I was
hated
just like, whatever. Like I'm just so like uninvested because my viewpoint is, hey, I'm seeing new games, even if it is a bad showcase. I think I'm more so put the expectations on a PlayStation showcase, like that 2023
Yeah.
one. That was, dude, I rewatched that recently. Oh my god, it was way worse than I remember. There was nothing there. Or, you know, you look at something like this Xbox showcase. Like I'm gonna have high expectations on it. I had high expectations for the Direct last week, stuff like that. That's when I'm like, no, okay, you're outright stating this is going to be a big deal, so I'm gonna treat it like a big deal. SGF, I just don't see it as a big deal most of the time. So that's why, like, if it's a bad show, like, no skin off my teeth. I'm more ready for Game Awards, which Jeff proclaims is the bigger deal.
Yeah. And it's like, I think SGF just has an expectation because it immediately filled in E3 week. And like at the time when Jeff created it, still to this day, he kind of wants it to be E3. Like he's gotten to the point where like now press comes out, it's a whole week thing. You have Day of the Devs. Like it is a big deal. It is technically now E3. But it's like, it's that type of thing where you get like a new Borderlands reveal or a new, like something where, yeah, this game's big, but it's not like, you're never going to get, yes, you're never going to get a, like the Naughty Dog games are saved for the Game Awards and not SGF. Like that type of thing. As far as right now, maybe that improves. Who knows with actual E3 coming back next year? Not E3, but whatever they're calling it. I forget what they said they're calling it. But
I don't even know anymore.
But like, it is that thing where I'm more lenient with the Jeff shows because he is one man trying to fight for everyone's games. Compared to when PlayStation puts on a showcase, you have your devs there. You know what to like. We know what to expect from you, PlayStation. Don't screw it up. Same with Xbox. When it's Jeff fighting for every game in the world just to show up to his thing, where it's like if he comes to IO Interactive, IO could be like, "Hey, we're gonna be on Xbox instead." And what's Jeff gonna say about it? Like, he's not gonna he's not gonna beg him. Like there's not much he can do there. So it's like I feel like Summer Game Fest gets more buy-in from the publishers.
Yeah. No, that's all fair. But yeah, this showcase, I'm excited for it as I always am. I'm just interested to see like, okay, any more. I don't know, like you guys saw that Phil Spencer quote. He was like, "Hey, we're not gonna shy from showing other platforms in trailers at our events. Like we're gonna show PS5, Switch 2 logo, that type of thing." I mean, you guys look at the summer event. It's like clearly that's going to happen, correct? I do wonder how many of those games will be multi-plat. Like I think Fable, that is probably going to be a multi-plat game.
I think South of Midnight's the last Xbox Day One console exclusive.
Okay. Is there
So
anything? Yeah, because
Doom is on everything. Doom's on PlayStation. So you're saying from Doom 4, it's all PlayStation and PC?
Pretty much. I mean, what's dated right now? We've got Tony Hawk, that's on both. We've got, like you said, Doom's on both. Outer Worlds 2 is on both.
That's that's
Call of Duty's going to be on both.
We have, that's a great point. That there's nothing revealed at this point that isn't Xbox only.
This Oblivion remake. Do you think that's everything?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because like the only stuff that isn't revealed to be on PlayStation 5 is stuff like Fable, and like Contraband, Everwild, the Invisible games, Perfect Dark. Gears doesn't even have platforms listed. It's still, they never listed platforms, and same with Blade, which to me was at the time I saw that I was like, oh, well, that's because it's going to be on the next Xbox, but now it's like, oh no, it's probably just because it's on PlayStation as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely seems like more and more like Xbox is fully embracing that multiplayer, and at the end of the day, I'll be honest, thank God, because it's just I was sick of the tiptoeing of the maybe. It's like just say it, like yeah, we're multiplayer now. Moving in to the last news story, Vision, this is a heartbreaker for you. Jeff Grubb comes on Twitter. Titanfall 3 isn't real. It isn't in the works, let alone near completion and close to announcement for a 2026 release. Respawn is working on Apex Legends, Star Wars Jedi 3, and the Bit Reactor Star Wars game. It then also has Steve Fukuda's Skunkworks project, which is years away. This kind of whole rumor mill about Titanfall 3 spurred on because a couple of Apex leakers came out, said like Titanfall 3 is real, it's coming out in 2026, put out a bunch of details, and then literally like I think the same morning, Jeff was like, I'm gonna talk about it on my show, just stay tuned. And then like literally after he read the news story, he looked in the camera and was just like, yeah, this isn't real. And it's like Jeff has the sources at Respawn. He's very accurate when it comes to Respawn, especially. It's pretty clear this game does not exist. Just another Tuesday for Titanfall fans, am I right, guys?
I'm just choosing not to believe Jeff. So
Fusion, come on, man.
like maybe this game isn't 2026, but there's like I don't know, dude. I don't understand it. There's no like I don't understand how Titanfall is always a leak or like always a rumor. Like it's more of a rumor than anything else out there. But I feel like, but the thing with Titanfall, I feel like it's always at least half reliable leakers. Like those Apex leakers have never got anything wrong in the Apex community. Why would they have a reason to lie all of a sudden? Maybe just for fun, I guess.
Jeff brought this up. It was very much like a case of like maybe this was confused for like basically an early prototype of a Titanfall thing being in development, like kind of, but like very early, like something with Titans that maybe was like being prototyped, but like it's nowhere near release.
Yeah, and maybe, and I could definitely see a world where maybe this is like they somehow have super deep information about the Titanfall 3, but it's not a 2026 game. It's a 2027, 2028. Like maybe there is something being worked on over there. It's because I don't know. It's just so weird that they give out so much information, like down to like it's gonna be next year, all this other stuff. It's like why go out of your way when you're already like a decent enough leakers, at least in the Apex community? Like why ruin your reputation over something if it was completely fake?
Yeah, no,
I'm
right there with you.
I feel like the only way this can be true, and Jeff will also be right, is if Respawn isn't the one working on it, which would be really weird. But if it was like a spin-off or something, maybe they licensed it out. I don't know.
That would be an interesting little mix. If like maybe Jeff's guy at Respawn doesn't know it's like because it's not actually happening at Respawn. But I don't know. Like, it'd be weird.
Moving into reviews of the week. Like I said, there wasn't that much news outside of Nintendo, but we still got some reviews. A couple of games coming out. First and foremost is South of Midnight, something Fusion I know you've been playing. You want to talk about in a bit. Currently sitting at a 78 on OpenCritic. A bit lower than I personally expected. I thought the Xbox websites would come in clutch, but I guess not. IGN gave it an 8. GameSpot gave it an 8. Lots of 8s, some 6s, some 7s, kind of rolling around that range effectively. But yeah, it seems like, though, it is weird. I look at the score and I look at the way people talk about it. It's like, I feel like this is closer to an 8. But, I mean, it's like right on that cusp. So maybe this is actually way more accurate than I'm assuming.
I mean, I'm not going to like go into what I like about it yet, but to the point where this review's lower than Kena by like 3 points. Kena's like a low 81, which I thought this is where South of Midnight would go. They feel kind of similar. Shocks me because, like you said, I read these reviews. I've played this game. This is one of those games where I completely disagree with a lot of the reviews with, and I don't know. I just expected like an 82, 83, 78. Not the end of the world. Like that's fine, especially for compulsion. For compulsion games, this is like 20 points better than anything they've ever made. So, like, this is a big step in the right direction for them as a studio. But like, a 78 did shock me. I think it first came out when it was like an 81, and then since then it has dropped a little bit. But like, not the end of the world. Like 78, fine score. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I think this is one of those cases where they look at that score, they're like, yeah, we're happy with this. I am curious how it does sales-wise, especially Game Pass engagement, because this is a much, much smaller game that it feels like almost more of a passion project than anything. Moving into our other review of the week, game I was very excited for, Blueprints. Not Blueprint, but like Blueprints. That doesn't help. Prince as in King. Got a 90 on OpenCritic. Lots of 9s, a lot of 10s. People are very, very into this game in a way that I picked it on the fantasy league thinking like I'll probably get like a good points. Like I'm very interested in this game. never mind. Like it's apparently to a lot of people is their game of the year so far. I see a lot of people really obsessed with it. Jason Schreier straight up saying like this is the best gaming experience he's had since Elden Ring, which is fucking insane. I think this is very clearly like a game that people are going to have at the top of their indie. And dude, this is the cool thing about like we're looking at the 2025 games to release later, and it is funny that like something like Blueprints could just come out of nowhere and get a 90.
Yeah, and it's almost like it's less talked about. But there was a game called Keep Driving that came out in February, a little indie game that hit an 89, and not a lot of people know about it. But that's like up before Blueprints. That was the highest rated indie of the game, indie of the year. Like it's like a driving RPG management sim
I
type
saw
thing.
this one.
It looks fun, but like yeah, that thing again doesn't have like the media as Blueprints does right now. But like that came out of nowhere, nearly a 90. You know what I mean? It's cool when games like that just jump out of nowhere. And it's like no, these are some of the best games of the year, and they had no marketing, nothing. Even Blueprints has had more than others. Like this showed up at a PlayStation event. Like it's been talked about more, but for the most majority of people, no one had any idea about this video game.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about games. Is like there's always like some crazy cool shit coming out. Like it feels like every week at this point. But also the uncool part is I can never keep up with any of it. I'll talk about how I'm feeling about the game in a bit because I have played a good amount so far. But moving into our topic of the show, like I said, it was a slower news week, so I thought this would be a fun thing. Basically, just gonna go over what's coming out for the rest of the year. How you guys are feeling? Well, not the rest of the year. Sorry, the rest of the quarter. How you guys are feeling? Like, what games you feel like you're gonna pick up, and kind of our intrigue moving into these. So right now it's April 11th as we're recording this. So that means the next game I see on this Game Informer list, which by the way, thank God.
Shout out the
Informer
goat.
come back.
Shout out the
This
goat,
is so
man.
much better, dude. I used to use the the GameSpot list.
So
Oh
bad. It's
God.
like 6 months updated. Like it gets updated once every 6 months. I swear.
I swear, dude. It's like half the games are missing. It's formatted disgustingly bad. It's like Game Informer. It's like here's everything. Thank you. April 15th. This is the first thing that I kind of looks semi like something that would want to be talked about. Lost Records Bloom and Rage Tape 2. So this is the second part of Lost Records Bloom and Rage. First part came out in February. I'll be honest, I don't understand that release schedule because we moved away from that with the Telltale games because it was clear like it wasn't working. But now we're doing this like, oh, it's 2 parts separated by 2 months. It's like I don't know if the excitement is gonna still be there. But I don't know. Either are you interested in this one?
Yeah, I am. This was something where it's like, kind of like you said, I don't understand the release cadence, but like, because for me, it was like I was just gonna wait an extra month. You know what I mean? Like this is why I waited for this moment so I can just play it all at once now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like a majority of people probably did that because what would be
Is it
the
Game
reason
Pass?
not to? No, it's not on Game Pass, but it's on PlayStation Plus. It's one of those weird
Oh,
ones
okay.
where somehow Game Pass didn't get it, but PlayStation Plus got it. But granted, it doesn't help. But like, this was initially supposed to be March 18th, so there was only going to be a month between this release. They delayed this to be 2 months, so that's why like because the first part came out in February. So I don't know if it would have been better if it was just a month. Either way, it's probably dumb. Like you said, we got away from that type of release cadence. But I am interested in this. I don't know if I will get to it because this was the game I was gonna play after South of Midnight, but now Blueprints is the greatest thing since ever. So I want to jump into that next. So that's gonna take my time. But like I want to play it at least sometime this year. Like I am someone who likes the Life is Strange games. I like a Telltale type game. Like I'm interested in this thing.
Yeah, I'm interested in what you think about it when it comes out. In just a few days actually. And then on April 17th is the PS5 port of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I haven't played it, but I heard really good things about it, and I think this is gonna get a lot more people interested. Then from there, Lunar Remastered Collection, not too much for me, but this one did look like a cool little like these classic 90s RPGs being like fully remade. I'm always a big fan of that, so to see just like, hey, we're gonna do more of that even for the more obscure stuff. But then the next real big release I want to talk about is Claire Obscure Expedition 33 on April 24th. I know you two are very excited for this. Well, I think I know Fusion is. I don't know, Jack. Are you excited for this one?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, cool. How are you guys feeling about it now that we're like basically 2 weeks away from release now?
You can go first, Jack.
I'm just really looking forward to it. Like, I don't know if it's going to be some 90+ game that everyone might be hoping for. Kepler Interactive, I don't think has ever published a game that high. But regardless, this could be like complete 7 out of 10, and I would still be into it. It just the style of it, the visuals are insane. The combat looks so much fun. I'm all in on this.
It's a thing for me where I'm still very excited for it. The closer we've gotten, my excitement has lessened. I don't know why, to be honest. I don't know if it's just a thing where I've kind of like I've avoided trailers, I've avoided like talk about it. So maybe it's just like I'm not in the hype cycle right now. I'm playing other games and like I'll just when this game comes out, hopefully I'm there and playing it. I still plan to pick it up day one, especially since it's on Game Pass. But it's like it's not always on the top of my mind where like when it was first revealed or even a few months ago when it was at that dev direct, like I was thinking about it constantly. It's like the closer we've gotten to it, the less I'm thinking about it and the more I'm just like, hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully it's a game where I jump in there and it's a good time. Like I'm excited for the music, like the little snippets of music we've gotten. It seems like it's going to be insane. The cast, the acting cast is absurd for a video game. Like one of the best like group of people doing the voice acting in a long time. Like I just hope yeah, like I just hope this is this dev team's first video game. Let's see if they pull it off. They have lofty expectations, and we're seeing people like Bop predict 91. I'm not expecting that. Like I'd be fine if this hit a 83, even if it hit a 80. You know what I mean? Like this is their very first game. Like I think it maybe could have the potential of that high 80, low 90s, but that's asking a lot for a dev's first game.
Yeah, that's my thing of like maybe I'm being a little pessimistic, I guess, but I have been kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop with this game. Granted, it does look great. It looks very high quality, and I think a lot of people are going to be very happy with it. But I am like, man, it's their first game, and everything looks just too good. I'm always like, okay, well, it's like the pacing really bad at a certain point, but then they say it's only 30 hours. Okay, but like maybe the gameplay is kind of like boring or there's issues with like the combat, but it's like no, it's like real time like Paper Mario style combat, which obviously works very well for me as a Paper Mario fanboy. So yeah, maybe I'm being pessimistic, but like I do think this game's gonna bang. I am just like I wonder if it bangs for me specifically. I it's one I'm thinking of picking up later in the year most likely. And then another one on the same day is Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves. Not much to say here. Neither of us are fighting game people, but I just want to ask if you guys saw the the DJ that they're adding in as a character.
I did not, and I'm happy I didn't because it sounds awful.
Yeah, it's even worse than it sounds.
So you know how SNK is owned by Saudi Arabia Fusion?
Yeah.
Effectively, the DJ is a friend of the Crown Prince, and they put him in this game.
Oh, that's just great.
It's
That sounds better, actually.
It's effectively like, hey, we own you now. Do this, which is just, oh god, it's gross. I don't like it, but I don't know. I think the game will be fine. I did counterpick it though, so I hope it sucks actually. And then also on April 24th is 100 Line Last Defense Academy. Not much to say there. That is the Ding and Rampa creators' next game. It does look interesting, but I am kind of like waiting for reviews on that one because he's had like some misses in the past few years. I'm like, okay, let's see if this can kind of bring you back. And also on April 25th, Days Gone Remastered. We jumping in, boys?
No, but apparently Bench wants to for some reason. So
Bench is not jumping into that. You know him.
he's like hyped. He probably won't be there day one because Claire Obscure, but like I would not shock me if this dude plays that game this year.
He's gonna buy it and play it for 5 hours.
And then yeah, he will drop it like about every other game he's playing this year.
Forza Horizon 5, the PlayStation 5 port is on April 29th. I was actually fascinated that we haven't gotten a Switch 2 port announced for that game, but I assume that's probably going to be like a later direct because that is one that makes sense for Switch 2. And then we move into May. Fusion, one that you actually played the demo for, and along with me, Metal Eden on May 6th. The demo I played, I'm very into this. It is effectively a sci-fi cyberpunk Doom. It obviously doesn't feel nearly as good as Doom, but it is a pretty good imitation. And this is kind of that type of game where it's like, yeah, a week before Doom is rough, but like I easily see myself picking this up later on sale and being really into it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I thought from the demo, I thought it played great. Like I don't know, it's just super fast paced. Like the wall running, everything. I played the demo for like 30 minutes, and like I was just like, yeah, I'm into this. I thought the music was awesome. I thought it looked really good, like visually. There were some performance issues, and I know console is even worse. So hopefully they clean that up, or at least can try to get it as close as they can by the time the game does launch. But I think it's going to be a respectable Doom clone at the very least.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if it's a solid Doom clone, I think people will be into that. Moving into just real quick, the Midnight Walk. That was that game that was shown off at the State of Play. It's a PSVR 2 game. Beautiful visually. I'm kind of wondering, like, okay, what's the gameplay going to be like, especially because you're making it for PSVR 2 as well. But then, right on my birthday, May 15th, Doom the Dark Ages. I'm obviously very excited for this game. I will admit, I have my trepidations. I've been called a negative Nancy about this game, but like I want to explain. It just, listen, stand and fight doesn't sound nearly as cool as jump and run and jump and gun or run and shoot. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But despite that, I'm still excited for this game. I'm just wondering, like, okay, how much will I enjoy this game?
Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know. Another one of the things where like more Doom's fun, but I had the luxury of playing both the last Doom games in the last 8 months. You know what I mean? Like I've played so much of Doom where like this one has shown I'm seeing the exact same enemies I just fought 2 months ago. You know what I mean? Like so for me, it's not shown enough where it's like I'm super in there. I would like to be there day one, but I don't know. I'm almost not doomed out, but I do kind of feel some Doom burnout of hey, like Doom's just Doom at the end of the day. Like they're really good shooters at the end of the day. Not a lot changes, and when you've played as much Doom as I have in the last, like I said, 8 months, I don't know if I'm ready for the next one.
They're changing up in a major way, which I always respect if they're very much like, hey, we're going to go for a different style. I just don't know how much that new style will work for me, considering how much I love the Eternals gameplay loop. But again, like, id Software is one of those devs. It's like, yeah, I have my faith in you. You guys haven't really done me wrong yet. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 coming out the next day, which is really exciting for fighting game fans because that is the re-release of Capcom vs. SNK 2. Dune Awakening on May 20th. That is the MMO that I never know what to think about. I try not to think about it. I'd be remiss not to mention it for Bob. Roadcraft on the same day. Hey, Bob.
I'm gonna get hyped for him. You know?
Hope you're listening. I will say it does look pretty cool, but it is effectively Snow Runner, Mud Runner, but like you're kind of a crisis worker. I don't know. It looks cool though. And then from there we get a little bit of a break. An Onimusha 2 remaster is coming out, which I'm actually interested in checking out. And then May 30th is when we actually get like the big stuff again. Elden Ring, Night Rain. Oh, guys, don't go all at once. I know you guys want to hate. You guys want to immediately talk shit about
why me? It's on my fantasy critic. This game's getting a great score. Jack, we should have bring it up to him.
He's a scumbag. I want to point out how he is a scumbag. Oh, no Zelda on the cover, no Assassin's Creed. This game's gonna suck. Yeah, that's his thought process.
That's exactly what I said, word for word.
Listen, I'll admit, like, I want the next big FromSoft game, but what I played of the night play test, I fucking adored. I had so much fun, and I'm like, yeah, give me just more of that. Keep changing up the map, keep changing up the bosses and enemies. I do wonder what the support of this game will be. Looking into it, it is very much like, hey, we're basically doing like, we are basically releasing this like as a God, what do you call them? You don't call it premium. If a game's not 70, it's 50. What do you call them?
Oh, I don't want to say budget, but it is.
I don't want to say budget either, but like I guess lower price game. That's probably the best way to say it. But they're releasing it at like, I think it was $50. And I mean, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, this looks like more Elden Ring, which I am very, very excited for. I am just like very curious. It's like, how are they going to support it? The fact is, they do have Dustbloods next year, which is also a multiplayer game. Kind of tells me they're not looking at this as a live service, which gets me very happy. I do not want them to support this as a live service. I just want a really fun multiplayer game.
Yeah, I played the demo and I enjoyed this. My beef is with Dustblood, which I'm not going to talk about. I just like that game, whatever. Why is it a Switch 2 exclusive? From what are you doing? No one wants another multiplayer game after Night Rain, but like, Night Rain looks cool. I'm into it. Will I be there day one? hopefully, maybe. Like, I don't know. That's the type of game where this is like the year of multiplayers for me. Like, I'm talking, like, we have so many multiplayer games, like franchises coming back that I'm so interested in that, like, I don't know if Night Rain is going to be that thing that I spend, like you say, $50 on. I don't want to spend $50 on it and play a handful of times. Like, if I'm going to spend $50 on your game, I want you to be a multiplayer game that I'm at least playing for the next few months. And it's like, I'm not sure outside of you and maybe another friend that how many people are going to actually get Night Rain in my circle that I can commit my time to the game yet.
Oh, that's all fair. I will say I messed up on the doc. I actually skipped
The news story. I forgot to talk about Marathon.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, my bad. Just real quick.
On accident, by the way.
Bungie will show off the first Marathon gameplay this week. Jordan Bidler put that on VGC. Teaser posted to the firm's social media platforms confirmed that new information about the game will be shared during its Marathon gameplay reveal showcase on Saturday. I will say, looking at the teasers and the videos, God, dude, nothing hits harder than a Bungie art style. They are so good at that shit.
So good. I mean, it's like immaculate how like the game that's not released yet has better art than 90% of other video games. Just from the trailers and the concept art. I'm so excited for this reveal. Like, I'm going to be watching it tomorrow. Hopefully we get a date, price, whatever. They gotta give me everything, and like I'm so hyped. I just really hope I hope it's as good as they're hyping it up to be. Gameplay, like I hope the gameplay actually is going to like right now the hype train is so high for me, and everyone like involved in Marathon, like my Twitter for the last week have been all about Marathon. It's like I feel like our expectations are maybe getting a little bit too high, but like it's a Bungie shooter, dude. Like their shooting feels so good at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I have faith that at the end of the day the game will feel good. But I am just curious about longevity, if this is like a big enough launch, kind of the boring business stuff. But also it's just like, how does the gameplay loop work? Like, is it going to be a gameplay loop that is fun? Because, I mean, listen, I hate to bring up the word. Concord had really good shooting. Like, the shooting felt good, but the gameplay loop sucked. So I'm kind of hoping it's like, and obviously this is apples and oranges. Like, Bungie is a substantially more talented team than Firewalk.
Firewalk.
Yeah, they're much better at making games. So I don't think it will be Concord. It's just like, that's the first thing that comes to mind. And I'm like, okay, give me a fun gameplay loop. This is still an extraction shooter at the end of the day. Get me into that genre. But yeah, Marathon. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring that up.
Okay. I'm happy you even brought it up. Hopefully there's enough info where I can come on next week and we can all rave about it. Because there's been some Marathon haters in this side of town. It seems like I've been by myself for a while.
I can't believe you changed the topic when we were just about to start talking about a real game, Lost Soul Aside.
Yeah, listen. Lost Soul Aside also on May 30th. I've been excited for this game for 7 years. I have been waiting for this game for a long time. I basically thought it would be canceled, but it seems like it's finally coming out next month. My God, that release date is awful. Really? The same day as Night Raid? I'm like, just delay it a couple months. Delay it into July. That's all I ask. But it seems like they're gonna stick to that release date. Weirdly enough, I'm still excited for the game, but I'm like, yeah, I'll probably not check it out day one just for that date.
I might check it out day one. The fact it's just like a few days before the Switch 2 is very overwhelming, so I'm not entirely certain yet, but I don't know, it looks like a fun action game. It could be the Stellar Blade of this year and I'd regret it.
I'm surprised you're as into it as you are, Jack.
I mean, don't get me wrong, if I don't know, because on one hand, if it reviews in like the 60s, I'll be like, oh hell yes, now I'm even more into it. On the other hand, I'll be like, maybe I could skip it for now and get it later.
God, that's so funny. I think you're the first person I ever heard go, I kind of hope it reviews in the 60s.
It'd be more interesting than if it gets like a 75. If it gets like a 75, I'd be bored.
That's why he hates FromSoft. They review too high for him. They're like,
God forbid a game's in the 90s.
He's like,
but you're a Zelda guy. He's a Zelda fan, though. Those are in the 90s as well.
Yeah, some of them. And he hates the ones. He hates
almost all of them.
He hates the two highest rated ones. Well, other than the other one, he hates Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom half the time.
I don't hate Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, but you hate Breath of the Wild. the
Oh,
one
but
that's
Breath of the Wild. You know, the game that saved your fucking franchise.
See, exactly. So like, I think he hates them. He hates FromSoft because he can't be the guy that sees these 9s and 10s and gives them a 7. But if Lost Soul Aside is a 6 and he's the guy that gives them an 8, he's the hero. He wants to be the hero. That's what's
I
happening.
do like
here.
being heroic. That's what they all say about me.
Man, we're
Either way,
just
this game's
fighting.
kind of mid. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. We got
Okay.
the villain here.
Game, I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just delusional, but I feel like it hasn't shown me enough where you guys feel like super excited, and especially Binks. Like Binks is super into it. I don't know. Maybe it's just off-brand Final Fantasy to me. I don't know. It doesn't feel fully something there where it's like I'm not having the same excitement as I did for like a Wukong, which was in a similar vein, or a Stellar Blade, where it's like
No,
I had substantially more hype for those games.
First of all, I promise you that there's no universe where this is worse than Wukong because nothing is.
Your
But
video,
then-
Bella.
Stupid. But I will say when it comes to this game, I am only really excited because I've been waiting so long. I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah,
it's
that's
finally
fair.
out.
That's a fair. I understand where it's like there's certain games where you've been watching for years and years and years where you're like, it's just coming out. Like, yeah, that's awesome. I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I am of the mind that's like this is a low 80s, but that I love those low 80s games, so I'm not upset about that. Moving into June, obviously the Switch 2. Me and Jack are getting one. Fusion, you said you're gonna wait.
Yeah, I'll be waiting.
Is there a certain game you're specifically waiting for? Are you waiting for 3D Mario or anything else that like oh god
Um,
now I gotta jump in?
Personally, of the things announced, Metroid.
Oh, dude, Metroid looks so good. I mean, dude, you saw that mouse control gaplay? It's like, oh, this is
Yeah, I think Metroid looks like. That's the thing. Again, not a big Mario Kart guy. Even the Mario Kart World looks awesome. I wish I was a Mario Kart guy because that game looks awesome. But that's the type of game I can't afford to spend $80 on a game that I'm not sure if I'll ever play more than a weekend. It's just that's not.
fair.
You know what I mean? So it's not a thing. Donkey Kong, I would have loved to be more into it. I have not liked what I've seen from it. That's fine. Like whatever. So like if there was a 3D Mario or something, I would be way more persuaded to get this thing at launch. But with the price and everything else, it's way easier for me to just sit here and wait till around Christmas time, see what kind of bundles, see what kind of holiday things happening, and get it when all the games are already out, and then maybe we're closer to some type of game they've already announced for early next year. Like something that we know, hey, this is coming out early next year, I can be excited for it. And even if there's not a big deal for me and we hit this holiday, I might even just wait till next year. Like I went from wanting this thing day one to I could wait as long as possible until they show me a reason to want it.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you at all. I think it's one of those cases where it's like because of that price, it is such a high asking price. But man, Metroid looks good. I can't wait for that. But yeah, Switch 2 launch. I will say Cyberpunk. That is very impressive that that's going to be at launch and it's all on the cartridge. So I will give CD Projekt their flowers for that. From there, Mario Kart World. Me and Jack were jumping on that day one. I cannot wait, but I'm also not really the biggest Mario Kart guy either. I'm just more excited, just like, okay, finally, a new Mario Kart. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I owe Bop a sincere apology for shitting on his hopes and dreams because actually turns out it looks good. That is not just because the cow is playable. There are more reasons than that, but
That's the main reason, though.
Exactly. Character of the year at the Soggies.
Yeah.
No, I'm really looking forward to it. The trailer this opened the Switch showcase with was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I watched like one Grand Prix that they did at the Treehouse, and that was enough. Like I don't want to see anything else. I just want to play it.
Yeah, dude, Knockout Tour alone, I'm like, oh, dude, hell yeah, that looks so much fun. Of just basically a battle royale Mario Kart, like that's. I'm super, super excited for this game. Just because it's like they're not just doing, hey, Mario Kart 8 again, but there's way more and it looks prettier. It's like, no, we're doing something completely different with Mario Kart. And we're kind of doing the first real innovation for Mario Kart since arguably Double Dash. Like maybe DS with the mission mode, but like this looks completely different even from those.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I cannot believe they're still doing an entire direct on this thing. Like, what else is there to show you for Mario Kart?
My assumption is it's mostly the open world, and they're going to show like, hey, here's what you can do in that open world.
Because I mean, that Treehouse, they went back to this game 18 different times. It was always like, we're showing this back in Mario Kart, showing this back in Mario Kart. The same races over and over again. Oh, 4 players now, 2, 3, 1. Like, we've seen it all. It's Mario Kart. We know what it is.
Yeah, I think it's just like they're like, hey, here's basically like the menus. Here's what you can do in the open world. All this extra stuff that how the characters are gonna work because they're adding so many weird ones, unlockables. Basically the deep dive. But yeah, I'm kind of with you where it's just like, man, is there really much more you could talk about with this? Also coming out on release day that I'm very very excited for, Deltarune, chapters 3 and 4. 1 and 2 already released, but 3 and 4 are now releasing finally. I cannot get a straight answer on whether or not these are the last chapters.
They-
But
Oh, sorry, go on.
no, go ahead. You were about to say something.
To my knowledge, there are 7 chapters altogether.
Yeah, but then I saw something that was like, oh, there's 4 chapters, but the 5, 6, and 7, those are like extra chapters, but the main story is 1 through 4.
That's
Yeah, from what I've gathered, this is going to be paid because the first 2 chapters were free, I think. So this is going to be a paid, and then everything afterwards is going to be a free DLC for this. So I don't know
Yeah,
how
okay.
complete this is.
Yeah, because I was under. Again, I don't know but from what the Deltarune Reddit from I've seen is like, yeah, people have been waiting, not calling the 4th chapter like the complete game, but like 1 through 4 is like the actual story or whatever. And then like Jack said, like the rest of the chapters will be like free updates down the line. Like I don't know if they'll be substantial compared to like 3 and 4 are this big substantial moment in the game.
Yeah, I think well though. I'm like, I'm going to jump in finally into Deltarune. I was like, I don't want to jump in when it's just 1 and 2, but like 1 through 4, like that is at the end of the day, that seems to be a pretty substantial package to me. Where I'm like, yeah, I'll get enough out of this. I love Undertale, so I'm like, hey, more of that universe is very exciting.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat where it's like I've been waiting because I just wanted the full game to be out. So I will be a little salty if I play 1 through 4, and then the next 3 chapters I have to wait 7 years, and I'm sitting there on the cliffhanger.
I'm shooting
Yeah, like that. Like come on, like I better get some type of end of the game after the chapter 4 ends, where it's like whatever comes after, like the DLC that comes online, I can just optionally choose if I want to play or not. If it's like no, you have to play this to continue the story, worst disaster ever. Like,
Yeah. And then finally, of the big exclusives of the Switch 2 launch, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Should have been a pack-in, but I'm a sucker. I'm gonna play it. It looks kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, but it looks fun for a pack-in. So I gotta buy it just to know for myself how bad it is. Okay.
just to let Nintendo know, you can get away
Yeah,
with anything.
exactly. I'm telling it to the man. Jack, please tell me you're not as insane as me. I want to make sure I'm the only insane person here.
So when I found out that they might be doing a physical in Japan, I did consider maybe importing it. However, I don't think I will. I think I will hold off, and I probably
man.
won't buy this.
Good man. This is how everyone should be.
Yeah, maybe I'm just a shitty person. There are a lot of ports coming out. I don't know if Jack, you're interested in any of these. I already played. I either played these games or I don't have interest in them. The only one that like really speaks out is Civ 7, just for the mouse control. But even then, it's like I'd still rather just play that on a PC with my friends.
I'm paying $100 for Mario Kart. You think I have money for other ports?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. I feel like if I'm one of these people porting, it's like, what the fuck, $80? Like, dude, no one's gonna buy our game now. Maybe Bravely Default because that's 40, but I don't give a shit about Bravely Default. Mind's Eye coming out on June 10th. Passing the Switch 2 stuff. Fusion, you've made your feelings on this game very clear. I'm intrigued. I want to see more of it, but I'm hoping there's more to it because, man, it is one of those games that looks off.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be abysmal, but maybe I'm wrong. I have no interest in this video game. I think it's just getting carried from the creators of GTA.
No, that's fair. I'll give you that. June 13th, we have The Alters. I don't know if you guys remember this one. This is that indie game that's like, oh, you bring in other people from different dimensions to basically work on this project. There was a trailer at the AAA initiative that happened, which overall was pretty weak, but like this trailer looked really cool. I'm like, oh wait, this game looks a lot more interesting than I gave it credit for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not personally interested in it, but
Oh really? I felt like
hopefully,
that had
yeah.
vision written on it. Huh.
Not
My
like
bad.
actually, I think that's a lie. I think it is on my No, I played a demo for it, and I just did not like it. There was a
That's fair.
demo on Steam, because I was interested in it, and then I played a demo, and yeah, the demo, like, I did not like how the game played.
Coming out on the 19th, just a small one, Raito remastered The Mystery of the Soulless Army. I like my Atlas RPG, so this one seems like maybe later on down the line on sale I'd check that out, but nothing like for me to rush towards. June 26th though, Fusion, Death Stranding 2 on the beach. You and me, we're in. I don't know,
Together
Jack,
forever.
are you a Death Stranding guy, Jack?
No, he's never played the first one. He's a fraud.
It's true.
But yeah, no, we've been waiting for this game for a while, Fusion. I am ecstatic. The more close it gets, the more I'm realizing, like, oh my god, I'm playing a Death Stranding sequel in a couple months. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is the game out of this quarter that's easily my most anticipated. Like, I am so excited for this. Like, every trailer he's put out, this game looks like generational. I mean, like, I have some concern that, like, it's not coming out on the greatest weekend for me. Like, I got some in real life stuff that's happening. That's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to this on day one, which will piss me off. Like, it won't be. I might be a few days off, but like, I don't know. I'm just so excited for this. Like, it's going to be the first physical game I bought on PlayStation 5 since Astrobot, because I only buy the exclusives at this point. But like, I don't know. My only concern is that the normal base PS5 runs substantially worse than the PS5 Pro, because I'm not gonna go out there and buy a Pro, but it would be nefarious if this game, if it's 60 FPS, fine, which I think it will be, cool. But if I even hear the words of, hey, this thing can't hit 60 on the PS5, I would not play this game until I can.
I don't think you have anything to worry about, Fusion. This is PlayStation, not Xbox.
True, but like, I don't. This game looks insane. It
looks insane, but all the trailers we've seen, they've been at 60 FPS, unless I'm mistaken.
But where they running on a Pro, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. I have more faith that this hits like 60 FPS.
I think, I think we'll be fine. It's just more of a. I'm just like, I care about tech way too much. So even the point of like, I played on PC, so it didn't matter. But AC Shadows like is substantially better on the Pro than the base PS5. I mean, it is night and day how different that game is. And it's like, I really hope that is not going to be a scenario here with Death Stranding 2, where I feel like I'm playing the inferior product.
No, that's all fair. I am very confident that it will have a performance mode that hits that 60 FPS, but I am very curious to see how it runs in general on both pieces of hardware. I will say, Fusion, you would have gotten me so pissed if you said, I'd buy a PS5 Pro for this game. It's like, oh, but the Switch 2, no. It's just...
Yeah. Hey, but if I could get like a PS5 Pro, I'm going down that path, but I was looking at Facebook Marketplace just casually, just see what's on there.
Yeah, just
someone in the area will sell one for $500. But
man,
like,
at that point, why even sell it? That's weird.
I know, but it's the thing where it's like, it's not even just I have to buy the disc drive. That's another $80. I don't want a PS5 Pro, but I would only get a Pro if more Death Stranding 2 started to happen. You know, where it's like Intergalactic, the rest of these things like started to actually be substantially worse on the base PS5, which they shouldn't. There's no reason for them to be. But again, we've seen AC Shadows, we've seen a couple of games where it is a substantial difference. I'm hoping because it's an exclusive and it's not first party, but it's close enough to first party that PlayStation understand, no, we can't just make this version way less inferior, but who knows? Either way, I'm very excited for this game. This was like number 3 on my most anticipated when we did this back in December.
Yeah, right there with you, man. It's very, very high for me. I cannot wait to see what Kojima weirdness we get up to. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the quarter 2 2025. Obviously, a lot more stuff is coming out throughout the year. We'll talk about that when it is available. I think it's feeling about the quarter overall, though. I mean, we have an entire console coming out, but like, is there like a case of like, oh man, I cannot wait for certain games, like, or is this like kind of a weaker quarter overall for you?
No, I mean, I think this is. I think even April, I have like 4 games I want. Well, we're in April right now, but
Mhm.
I'm like, there's a lot of games I'm playing in this quarter that I think this quarter is very impressive, and I wouldn't be shocked if this is the best quarter of the year because games are going to be scared if GTA does release next.
Yeah,
Like in
that's fair.
Q4, it wouldn't surprise me if this is where all the game, like we look back on this year and we're like, hey, that quarter two of April to the end of June was like super good because everything came out then. Next quarter looks interesting when you got like the rumored Mafia date and like a bunch of other Borderlands. Like you have things next quarter for sure, probably Ghost. So like it wouldn't shock me if it was quarter three that's the best at the end of the year. But like quarter two, I think is really strong.
Yeah, I'm in the
yeah,
same boat. April, there's like I said, there's a couple of games that are really cool, like South of Midnight. I'm enjoying now. Claire Obscure is coming soon. May's a little weaker, just for my tastes, but I'm still interested in a couple of games. And then June, obviously, like you say, Switch 2. So it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I look at this quarter like I have more than enough for me to want to play to even think about trying to complain against it. I'm pretty overall satisfied with what I'm definitely getting. Like Night Rain's a day one, Switch 2 is a day one with Mario Kart. Probably Deltarune is on top of that. Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour because I'm a fucking sucker. Doom, like Death Stranding 2. Like I have so many day ones at this point that I'm like, oh, gotta start saving up the money for that. But yeah, overall, very strong quarter. Last up, we gotta talk about what we've been playing. I have been playing Blueprints. Just came out yesterday. And I'll be honest, this is completely different than what I was actually expecting. I I'll be going into this, I was expecting like effectively puzzle rooms. Like have you guys played The Witness?
No.
Okay, so neither of you. Uh Witness is effectively like you walk around in an open world and you're just basically doing puzzles. And you're constantly doing like new types of puzzles, but they are effectively like it is a puzzle sandbox in a way. And I was almost kind of expecting that out of this game. This is completely different. You are it's a weird game to explain. You inherited a house and your whole objective is to get to the 46th room of this mansion. And what happens is every door you encounter, you're setting up a new room and like, okay, do I want this to be the boiler room? Do I want this to be a kitchen? Do I want this to be, yada yada yada, all these different type of rooms. And you're basically trying to navigate and collect enough items, keys, gold, gems, like all these type of things to hopefully make it to what is effectively the end of this whole mansion and beat the game. And what's really cool about it is I am very much thinking about like placement of these things way more than I'm actually expecting. Where it's like, okay, do I want to put this room here? I'll get a lot of really useful items for later, but it is a dead end. So I basically got to hope for the other two rooms to lead me to the final objective. And I've had a lot of runs where effectively, like, because you can't like just stay in the mansion. Like, you do eventually have to leave, and it's like it's gonna reset the house. You change up your whole strategy basically, and I've had a lot of runs ruined because I got too many dead ends or I ran out of keys, so I can't like open the doors for like the northern rooms. I think it's really really cool so far. It's one of those things where again it's completely different than I had expected, and at first I actually wasn't really into it, but I'm about 5 hours in and I'm like, damn, I am really into this game, like way more than I expected to be. I will say I do wish there were more like traditional puzzles. So far, there's only really been two puzzle rooms, and they're both like really good puzzles. But I'm like, God, I want more of this kind of stuff because like it has been like very much the blueprint setting up the layout of the entire mansion, that type of puzzle solving, which is again really fucking good. But I'm like, ooh, I want more like, oh, solve a picture puzzle. I don't know, give me like shit for my stupid puzzle brain to really be obsessed with. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm into this game a lot. What do you guys think? Are you guys interested in checking this out anytime soon?
Yeah, for me, as long as the time's right, I'm gonna jump in right after South of Midnight. So like
Oh,
hopefully within the next few days, I'm gonna like jump into it because I know, like you said, you've been playing it, you've been enjoying it. There's been a lot of people in the Discord that seem to also be enjoying it, and then like just the media, like journalists, again, scored a 90. Like people are really enjoying this game. I'm at least going to try it out. I have no reason not to. I own Game Pass. I will try it out. It's a scenario where like if it's not hitting for me after a few hours, I have no reason just putting it aside. But like I am very interested. I went from not knowing a lot about it, and like I remember you picked it up on your Fantasy Critic, and like I knew the idea of like, oh, I know what this game is. It's a puzzle game, but like I didn't actually watch a trailer until a few days ago when those reviews went up. You know what I mean? Like, so I had no idea what it truly was. But then I watched those trailers. I listened to some people talk about it. I'm like, no, this sounds like exactly my type of shit. Like, stuff puzzles get frustrating for me, and there's sometimes where like just adventure games throw me a puzzle, and I'm like, I can't do this right now, and like it just makes me mad. And I'm sure this game will make me mad at some point. But it's also, it feels like it's a special enough game where you get through the frustration and you'll get a rewarding end. So like I don't know, like it might be a game where I have to pull out the journal and write some notes and stuff, which I don't do often when I play games.
I
But
that once, don't worry about it.
yeah, so like I don't know. We'll see. I am definitely checking it out though.
Yeah, it's fast. It's funny. It's not like Resident Evil puzzle rooms, basically, where it's like, oh, move this statue to the left. Like it is very much like the way you work about the layout of the rooms and like how you want everything to look and that type of puzzle solving, like more like above top adventure game type puzzle solving. It's not traditional. You're solving this puzzle. It's hard to fully explain, but this is a tough game to talk about because I do think so much of like the coolness is what you discover, kind of like Outer Wilds in that way.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a tough one where it's like I don't know how best to exemplify it. I will say, Fusion, when I was playing it last night, I'm like, I don't know if I'm enjoying this that much, and it's like, maybe I'd drop it. But then I closed the game because like I was like, I had a really good run, but I screwed up. I'm like, I'm done with this for now. And then I immediately looked at the game again. It's like, nah, I gotta put back in. I gotta go back in, man.
I'm very interested. The more I learned, especially that reviewers talking about this, that there's an actually really good story here, got me more interested. Like I love the idea of I'm not just solving puzzles, but I'm solving some type of mystery story here in this mansion.
Yeah, there's definitely something like I haven't really poked too many threads there, but like I do think there is like something to unravel there, which is very exciting. Jack, did you have any interesting blueprints?
It certainly looks cool, but I don't think I've got time for it right now.
Fair enough. South of Midnight. I forgot to put this, but I just realized like, oh yeah, Fusion's playing this. Fusion. I mean, you're what like halfway through this game. How are you feeling about this?
Probably actually more than that. I'm on chapter 11 of 14.
Oh,
So,
okay. So you're like near
I'm
the
like,
end. Okay.
yes, like if I had I'm hopeful that if I have a good session tomorrow, I will beat the game.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm very, very much enjoying this game, which is why I was a little defensive about the 78 earlier. Granted, like I'm sitting between a 7 and 8, leaning more towards 8 right now. We'll see how it ends. But like, people weren't lying about the combat. I think the combat, I don't think it's bad. I think it is just serviceable. I'm at the point actually now where I kind of unlocked the full kit, and the combat's not fun, but it's not like boring. Like I'm at the point where it's like I'm getting through the combat a lot faster. I'm chaining my attacks. I'm getting a flow state that the beginning of the game it feels like you'll never get. Like I'm at one point where I'm like I'm never gonna get the flow of this combat. At this point, I kind of am, and it's a lot better. But what is really special about this game to me at this moment is the story and the depths of where it goes, where it talks about like a lot of things you don't talk about a lot in video games. A lot of things people just don't talk about in general, like trauma and grief and all this other stuff, where it's just like in your childhood and all this stuff. It is a very deep-rooted story that's bringing up a lot of stuff that I didn't expect it to bring up. And then it just when the music hits and everything comes together and the visuals are popping, like it is a really, really good game. Like I think it's a really special experience.
Interesting.
Well, again, we'll see how it ends. We'll see if I'm mad when it ends, whatever. But like at this moment, I think this is the best Xbox game I've played since Halo Infinite, and that was 4 years ago. like I really do enjoy this game a lot. I understand why some people wouldn't like it. I don't think it will be for everyone. I think the combat scenarios are boring for the most part. I think the bosses are fantastic. It's so weird to have like these fantastically made bosses, and then your normal grunt boss, like your enemy encounters, are just really boring and kind of bland. But I don't know. It feels in the same vein of a Kena Bridge of Spirits for PlayStation, where I was lower on that game than everyone else actually was.
Oh, really?
And it seems like South of Midnight, I'm higher. Like it seems in the same vein, but I'm higher than ever. I think the story is so much stronger, and the character and the voice acting. I think Hazel, which is the main character, whoever that voice actress is so strong. Where I would not be shocked if at some point we get to Sagi's and I have her as my best performance. Like, she is a very strong voice actress. So like, I want more people in Discord to play it because right now it seems like only I'm playing it. Bop's supposed to start it. Jack was supposed to start it.
I'm playing it.
Okay, he is playing. That's good note. Beef, I think, started it, maybe dropped it, but like, yeah. So I'm interested where you're at, Jack. How far you're in, because I'm very much like I'm enjoying it heavily.
I'm chapter 5 or 6. I think chapter 6. I've literally just started it. So I don't know. Maybe I think I'm less than halfway based on. I think I'm only about 4 hours in. So I doubt I'm much further than that. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it as well. I'd go one step further on the combat to say it's mediocre, but
Yeah.
it's not bothering me that much. The visuals are insane. The music is jaw-dropping. Like any other year, this might have been my favorite OST. It is so good.
Wow.
The vocal tracks in it. I'm not going to spoil them, but the vocal tracks they're so good.
They're so good.
I don't usually wear headphones while playing games, but I've been doing it with this one just so I can hear like every little thing, like especially the lyrics. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. I don't know where I'm going to land on it, but as of this moment, I am enjoying it quite a lot.
I love that. I love that for us.
It is fascinating hearing everyone talk about this game, and it's just like, yeah, like the agreed upon thing is the combat's weak. It's almost like maybe it would have been better if it didn't have combat and it was just like, hey, it's a platformer basically. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard to say because I think the combat does. I wish the combat had like story elements, something where it's like add the story into the combat or something, or like again, the bosses are great, so like they could keep that. But I feel like it's not like it's padding because also with the combat, I'm talking about you get in these encounters and you can beat them in like 2 minutes. It's not like you're going out of your way to fight some big old combat encounter. You can do them pretty quickly. So it almost just feels like they wanted to just have combat in the game, which is fine. But again, like I said, where Jack is right now, I assume you don't have everything leveled up, you don't have everything unlocked. The combat definitely feels way worse than like, and I'm not saying it ever gets good because even where I'm at, very late game, I wouldn't call it good combat, but I would call it a lot better than the start of the game. Where like even the dodge, I think the dodge feels fantastic, but then like everything else in the combat system kind of sucks. Like the dodge is a really good dodge, but there's like no parry or anything. But it's like the dodge feels great, but then like you're just spamming X for the most part on the combat. You're just spamming X. You have one hit. Like you have your abilities that half of them are kind of useless in combat, and then you have one really good ability in combat, and then the rest of it is you're just spamming X to do damage. But like I don't know, it almost feels. I don't know how to explain it. It almost feels like not I'm trying to think of where we're like. I think Kenna, which got an 81, has better combat, but not substantially better. And Kenna has a substantially worse story and acting. And Kenna, I feel like no one talked about the story or the acting or like the acting in that game. They only talked about, hey, this game looks like a Pixar game, which it did. And the combat is pretty fun because it's kind of taken aspects from a little bit of Souls-like, where I feel like South of Midnight, so many reviewers took so many points off. Like I read a great review, I think it was either PC Gamer or something. They gave it a 6 out of 10, and they hyped the game up to nonstop, talking about the story and all this. But they're like, but the combat was too much to get by. I'm like, 4 points? Like 4 points is a lot to be like the combat's not when the combat is not that big of an emphasis. When I'm talking about when these encounters are 2 minutes long, like. It's not like the combat is constantly in your face and you have to worry about it all the time. Some of these things in the game are just platforming levels. Like you don't have any combat at all. So I don't know. It's a hard balance. I know at the end of the day, it's a video game. You want the video game. You rate it on how well it plays. But I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of video games where like the combat is secondary and they review a lot better than South of Midnight. So I don't know where these reviews landed. And again, it's not a big deal at the end of the day, but it's just very odd to me where this landed at reviews and where I feel like a lot of people that aren't reviewers are going to land on it.
Yeah, I feel like
Sorry, go on.
Real quick, just I think a lot of reviewers do value gameplay, especially over story in a lot of cases, and it just affects like that overall score in a more major way than like if the game had, let's say, a horrible story, but the combat is awesome. That's just kind of how most reviews work, and I'm not saying that's good or bad. That's just like how I feel like when I read these reviews. That's how I view them as.
See, at least where I am in the game, I do see where the reviews are coming from. Because while, yes, I agree that the combat encounters are short, there are so many of them, at least that I've thought there have been, that it has disrupted some of the pacing, and I have felt like it's a chore to get through them to get to the better parts of the game. But again, maybe as I go, I'll feel differently.
That's fair.
Yeah. Do you guys think this is kind of something you're gonna be looking at by the end of the year? Like, you'll remember to put it on your list
100%.
It's
Because
stacked here.
I've been on record again. I know I'm probably in the minority, but I've been on record. My favorite games, my games I always look fondly back on, are the games where I remember the story, I remember the performances, I remember the visuals, I remember the songs. Like, yes, I'm gonna remember if a game is fun or not at the end of the day, but like 90% of the time, I'm not looking back at my list when we come to December, and I'm like, what game had the best gameplay? Like, that's just not how I play games, other than Astrobot being the go. Like, other than Astrobot, but like, I don't know. To me, like, we'll see. There's a lot of video games this year and a lot of story-driven games this year, so it's gonna be hard. But it would not shock me if I get to the end of the year and I'm putting this up here with one of my best stories, or like I said, some of my favorite performances. Like, I really do like Hazel and some of these other characters in this game. And the music, like Jack said, depending on the year, it could be my favorite OST of the year. This is just a very stacked year, hopefully, when it comes to songs. Up to this point, it's been really good. And like, we have Claire Obscure. GTA will probably have a good one. And like, there's just games out here that are going to come out that are all going to have good music. Death Stranding, like, I think it has potential. I think it has potential to be at the Soggies and at the Game Awards and like specific categories, but it would shock me just because reviewer standpoint of anyone's actual game of the year.
It's a competitive year. That's kind of just rough for this type of game. I feel like last year it would have made a lot more waves personally, because that was a much weaker year for games.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, it seems like South of Midnight, everyone's enjoying it. We'll see if Bop ever starts it, Mr. Bop of Midnight, and he hasn't started the game. What a
Mr. Xbox fan, Xbox fan number one. He's never playing it.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
I don't. Again, like I said, truthfully, again, I haven't played every Xbox game. I didn't play Indiana Jones. There's some I haven't made, but this is my favorite Xbox game in a long, long time. I think this is the one like where it's finally like I understand this. I don't know. It's like the stories and everything is doing for me is exactly what I feel like Hellblade wanted to do and failed at doing.
That's fair. No, that's completely fair. Moving into the last game you guys have been playing, I haven't. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Both of you beat this game, if I'm correct. So,
We
kind
have,
of
yeah.
interesting. I'm sorry, second check.
No, I was saying, yeah, we have.
Oh, okay, cool. I guess just final thoughts on this game. I mean, it's probably the last time we'll talk about it on the podcast, so I'm interested in hearing kind of how you guys feel just overall.
Jack,
I'll go
beat it
first.
so you can go. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. So I really enjoyed it. Far more than I think I was expecting to, just based on my opinion of the last few RPG games. This is, this isn't going to be like I did my Assassin's Creed ranking after I finished it after a few days of sitting on it, and like it's not in the top tier, but it's my favorite of the RPG games. It's probably my favorite of Assassin's Creed games in Syndicate. There's so many problems with it. There is a long list of like gripes I have. However, I just enjoy playing it, and like even after I finished it, something I definitely didn't do with the last two RPG games, I just carried on playing. And like even while I wasn't playing it, I was thinking about playing it. So I do think, yeah, it's a game that I'm curious where I'm going to feel like as I sit on it even longer. But as of this moment, I really enjoyed it. There are so many things, like the characters, there's quite a lot of them that I like. The music I am conflicted on, but the parts that do shine are really, really good. Just the world, like we were talking about the visuals in the last few times we spoke about it, but the world in general is amazing. So yeah, I'm pretty high on it.
Yeah, no, especially I know you're lower on the RPG Assassin's Creeds, right, Jack?
Yeah, yeah, I don't really like many of them, if any.
You didn't, so including Odyssey?
I hated Odyssey.
Yeah, that's my fucking guy. Hell yes. Welcome to the club, baby. Sorry,
Sorry, Fusion.
That's crazy.
I still am mad to this day that people roast me for not liking
Yeah,
Odyssey.
I'm gonna roast you again.
No, because you didn't choose the right protagonist. No, the combat was why I stopped liking it. Okay.
Hey, all I'm saying is Jack's going to replay it, and he even knows to pick the right character this time. He said it himself.
Oh my god, the character doesn't matter if the combat still sucks, Fusion.
I don't know.
Something
Ask the
midnight all
Hellblade 2
over again.
fans. Yeah, apparently.
I'm just playing. Fusion, I want to hear your thoughts. Actually, so you are the fan of the RPG ones.
Fans are long shit. I am a fan. Yeah, I
love
really
Valhalla.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it less than Jack, not substantially less than Jack. If I went down just real quick my rankings of the RPG Assassin's Creed I played, I would have Odyssey first. I get it, you guys hate it, but Odyssey, Shadows, Origins, Valhalla. I don't know. It's somewhere in that range. I sometimes I'm like, is Valhalla better than Shadows? I don't think so. But
That's just a wrong statement, man.
yes, I think it's just because I put 70 hours into Valhalla, and like, even though I think that game, I would never recommend it to someone. Like, it always sticks out with me that it was my first big RPG on the PS5. Like, it dropped right then, and like, it was an experience to be like, hey, this is a next gen game on the PS5. Anyways, doesn't matter. Shadows, I think at the end of the day, is fun. I think it's the best stealth any of the Assassin's Creed I've played has had. I don't know how it compares to like the old school Assassin's Creed, but I would assume it would be better because just like it's way more deeper, it's way more in depth. Like, you can do a lot in this stealth system that I really love. My favorite part of this video game is the stealth because I love stealth in video games. That's my favorite part of most video games. If you give me a stealth option, I'm picking it. I ended up loving both the protagonist, and I actually liked Yasuke more at the end of the game. You know, I didn't like playing as him. He sucked, but at the end of the game, like, he was a character that I was mad wasn't more fleshed out in combat and just to play as, because his story I think is so much better. And it's just like, I don't know, I just really fell in love with him as a character and part of the story and part of the characters. Visually, the best Assassin's Creed has ever been. One of the best visually games just ever, I think. Like, the way the weather system works and just everything in motion looks brilliant. I think the story, like every other Assassin's Creed RPG, is lacking. I don't think there's anything interesting. I cannot tell you the name of a single side character at this moment. Cannot tell you one. There's a little chunky fat kid. He's awesome. Couldn't tell you his name. Jack probably knows it because he hates it. I couldn't tell you his name. Starts with a J. That's all I know.
Is it
True.
Jack?
What did you say?
No, it's Junjiro.
Yeah, Junjiro. Yeah, that guy, awesome. Jack hates him because he's a little fat kid, but he's so cool. He's the coolest little kid ever.
That's insane. You're not
He
even a
does hate him.
reason just because he's a fat kid.
He called him annoying. He called him the little fat annoying fat kid. He
Did
said
I?
fat twice. You did call him annoying.
I did call him annoying. I don't think I called him the little fat whatever.
But he's awesome. He's just a cool character. But yeah, I think this comes down to like this feels like the perfect 7 out of 10 Ubisoft game. I don't think it's substantially better than most of the things they put out. I don't think it's substantially worse than anything they've put out. I think it is the middle of the road. This is what you expect when you think of Assassin's Creed. I think it has really high highs, like Jack said, but then it has your normal Ubisoft lows that you're like, this is still getting in the way of your games. You can't take the next step until you get rid of this other stuff. I think the game is way too big still. I think the map is way too bloated still. And I think side quests and side activities aren't interesting enough for me to want to leave the main quest. And I still think the gameplay loop is still kind of the same it's always been in these RPG games, where it's like you have this circle of assassins you got to assassinate, go get them. And it's like they don't advance enough to make it any better of an impact on me than the rest of the RPGs. But I think the two main characters at the end of the day are strong enough to put it above the rest of the Assassin's Creed RPGs outside of Odyssey.
Interesting.
Cassandra's the GOAT, so.
Yeah. Like, that 7 out of 10 energy, though, it seems like you're really like very much like, hey, this is a 7. This is not a game that would appear on my Game of the Year short list, but like I did really enjoy it. It sounds like a sales game.
Yeah, for 100%. It's a game where like I love devs, but sorry, I got the Ubisoft Plus thing. It was $18. I beat it on that. I didn't buy this game, but it is a type of game where it's like, I don't think it's, and I think people are going to be a lot higher on it than me, and even a lot higher on it than Jack, and Jack's decently high on it, where like I think you could spend $70 on this game and be happy. Like, it's very polished. Like, Jack can talk about how like this is the most polished a Ubisoft game I've played in years.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I got
like-
like a lot of time, so you definitely could tell like they.
Yeah, that
probably-
delay was worth it. That delay was 100% worth it. None of my issues really come down to like the quality of this video game. I think this is a good quality video game. This is a AAA budget video game. It feels AAA. It's just it's missing on certain marks where I'm like, you can wait for sale on this game, but if you don't want to wait for sale, if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, if you're an open world fan, like if you're just a classic open world, I like my classic checkpoint list stuff, you'll really enjoy this game. Japan is beautiful. I have a few issues where I don't think the biomes like are different enough, and it feels a lot of forest. I mean, like 90% of this map is a forest. I swear, you're just running through the same forest, and like those things bother me. But like for most people, especially the players that only buy 1 to 2 single players a game, I think a lot of people are gonna love Shadows.
Very interesting. Very happy for you guys. I know you guys are big fans of this franchise, so good to see this one hit for you. But yeah, no, I mean, like it seems like most people are in agreement. It's like, yeah, this is a great Assassin's Creed game. If you're a fan of the franchise, this is going to be the one to do it for you. But that is it for our show today, boys. We had a pretty long one, despite kind of a smaller news week, but we talked a lot about games, had a good time overall. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always a good show with you two. I think we're about ready to just head out. If you guys want to find us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much every podcast platform, we're going to be there. Like the podcast, any type of support helps, and follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at A Slice of Gaming. But with that, I think we're going to head out. Say good night, everybody.
Night.
Night.
Play South of Midnight, please.